Call our number as you
like
need to.
it.
That's right. Like it, comment, share. Call us at 773-591-1690. And I want you guys to feel, included in our conversations. And just remember, our break time, look, our breaks are 3:17, like right now, 3:30, 3:47, and the top of the hour. That's every hour we rotate. And when we get close to the break, we have to interject. So that's why I do a lot of redirecting when people are calling in. It's not to step over you. It is to redirect you so we can get you back on track and so we can go to break on time, which we seem to go over quite often. So we want to be good about that.
We're getting like Matt McGill.
Yeah, I don't want to be like Matt.
And Rufus too, by the way.
Ooh, tell me about it. So I tell you what, we're going to go to break. Fred Jordan, we see you holding because you are our very special guest. Jackie, we see you holding.
Ooh, but is that the Fred Jordan who?
Yes, who invented and who created Black Awareness Month.
That is awesome.
So when we come back, we'll talk to Fred Jordan, guys, on the afternoon show. Dr. LaDonna Ray, State Rep Ken Duncan. We'll be back.
More from LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
Lung cancer is common among East Asian descendants, especially females.
We understand our patients have different backgrounds and circumstances, which is why we promote nearly 1,000 health screenings each year, like the CLUES program, which screens high-risk, often uninsured patients for cancer.
If it wasn't for the CLUES program at Northwestern Medicine, we wouldn't know my mom had lung cancer.
Because we treat our community the same way we treat our patients, better.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Audible. When you start listening to books on Audible, traffic might seem like less of an annoyance and more of an opportunity for another chapter. Audible, stories that speak to you. New members can start listening with a 30-day free trial at audible.com.
WVON, traffic and weather now.
Good afternoon, Chicago. You made it to May 2 of the week, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic updates. And Ryan, downtown on 95th. Stop and go traffic. 28 minutes. I-57, Ryan, I-80. Stop and go traffic, 15 minutes. Stevenson, DuSable, Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Stop and go traffic. 38 minutes. Bishop Ford Ryan's I-80 94 slow go 23 minutes due to road work. Eisenhower Wolfville Post Office slow go 30 minutes due to an earlier disabled vehicle. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare stop and go traffic 40 minutes, and Edens Montrose Lake Cook smooth sailing 15 minutes. The weather for 2-day Chicago is brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVON is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. The historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, and you can catch the Cougars games airing on Vaughn TV. Tomorrow, it's rainy and thundering, 82 degrees and a low of 66. Today, mostly sunny, high of 80 and a low of 65. In our city, it's currently 79 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
When the word is on your shoulder, gotta straighten your down. You can't get the feeling, and there ain't no room for you in this part of town.
All right, welcome back. It's the afternoon show right here on WVON 1690, 63 years and
63.
counting. You know what? We left before the break and we were introducing you guys to the fact that we've been talking about Black Business Month in the month of August, but we want to make it Black Business Month every month, air month. But today we want to not just talk about Black Business Month and how important it is. We want to go beyond simply talking about supporting Black business. We want to talk about what happens when Black excellence is operating at a level so large that sometimes people don't even believe the business is Black owned. Our guest, Frank Jordan, has spent a lifetime in engineering, architecture, development, and entrepreneurship. His career has touched civil and structural engineering, roads, bridges, harbors, hotels, and major development projects. He tells us his work spans more than 1,000 projects, licensure across 15 states, more than 120 accolades, and the establishment of 15 companies. His story also includes Howard University in Stanford, the Museum of the African Diaspora, work connected to major hotels and infrastructure developments, and service in the Black business movement, including involvement with the National Black Chamber of Commerce. And perhaps most importantly for today's conversation, he helped establish Black Business Month. I mention all of that because we've had conversations even with Dr. Larry Ivory where people challenge the capacity of Black-owned construction companies. And here he is killing it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Fred Jordan.
Fred Jordan.
Hi, Mr. Jordan.
Frank.
Well, you guys, LaDonna, you're wonderful, absolutely wonderful. And you captured a whole lot. We were just having a conversation there with Larry.
Yeah.
So he kept saying, "Well, what have you done?" and that kind of. But you've captured quite a bit, and maybe more than I've done. But anyway, if ever I'm introduced to the national TV or the president or whatever, I need you to.
There you go. She gave you a layout, didn't she, Fred?
Oh, man, she gave me a royal layout here. I feel so proud here to be walking around here. So, but I'm glad that you reminded me. Yes, I have. I've done a lot of work. Done a lot of.
Well, doing homework really does pay off, especially when you look at people who have started these initiatives so that we can be proud and so that we can get out intentionally and support Black business. You've helped found Black Business Month, and there's many things that happen because of that. What is one of the biggest disappointments that you may have witnessed when it comes to Black business? And then take us to the biggest celebration after that.
Well, the biggest disappointment that I've had is in California here. There was a black man who introduced what we call Proposition 209. And so he got up and said, and he was paid $1 million. And he got up and said, we don't need this affirmative action. We don't need that anymore. We've got all these minorities around, all that. And there were a lot of white people and who bought into that. And I have to say they were Republicans, of course, and they bought into that. And so they tried to pass something like this to defeat affirmative action. And of course, this is Dr. Arthur Fletcher, who was the first chairman of the National Black Chamber of Commerce. Congress designated him as the father of affirmative action.
Oh, yes.
Dr. Fletcher, but and so I mean, during his time when he was chairman, Proposition 209 came up and passed, and so we had nothing out here. So if you want to say we went down to 3%, and of course this is with the California Department of Transportation, and I used to be a member of the Illinois Department of Transportation too. I had an office for quite some time, and I believe Fox TV gave me an award as one of 3 outstanding businesses, and this was after I'd done a substantial amount of work in Chicago, and we're considered, to my understanding, as the first civil engineering firm in the city of Chicago. But I've been licensed in Illinois, Missouri, and Indianapolis. I mean, in Indiana, and to practice there, I did, as LaDonna said, I practiced. I'm actually licensed in 16 states, but I practiced only in 15.
Mm-hmm. Well, Mr. Jordan, I really love what you're doing and what you've done. There's so many things that I wish we had more time. I wish we had like 2 hours to talk about it because there's so much to do.
Yes, we need to. Yes, because I want to talk about Proposition 209.
Right. I'm like, I wrote that down for sure. But Ken, I mean, we talk about business as a whole all the time. And then we have Mr. Fred Jordan on the line. And I can't not wonder how was the, or should I say, what has the expectation been with Black Business Month? What was your expectation when you founded it?
Good question.
Well, the first thing is that we had a predecessor that was Black History Month, and so we fought for a long time to get that Black History Month in there, and so everywhere it was accepted, and all of the states, I think there were always about 3 or 4 states that didn't go along with it, Arizona and too. So finally, we got that out front. But Black History Month is great to get our culture. Marcus Garvey says if you don't know your history, if you don't know your culture, if you don't know where you came from, then you're like a tree without roots.
Mm-hmm.
And so Black history took us a long ways to go there. So, but I had a discussion one day with my colleague and said, this Black History Month, we do this every year, but I'd feel better to have some money in my pocket.
That part, say that.
And so, we need to talk about, we've got our history together. Now we need to get our economics together.
I love it.
So, and in that way, we can have the nation focus on the participation of Black business into the economy. So, I think a lot of individuals have been able to penetrate some of the major corporations out here, but Black business is still, ever since we lost the Ebony 100 Black businesses, that might go way back there a little bit, maybe before your time, but Ebony used to produce 100 Black businesses in the country.
Yes.
And that kind of focused on how we were progressing. But Illinois is looked upon as successful.
Yeah.
I mean,
I gotta interrupt you real quick. I know you have a meeting. I forgot what time your meeting is. What time is your meeting how long can I have you? Can I have you for until 2:00 your time?
Yeah, 2:00 my time.
Okay. Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put you on a quick hold, and we're gonna go to break, and then we're gonna pick up one of our state reps from Indiana to give us an update on what's going on in Northwest Indiana. Okay, and then we'll come back to you. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. All right, guys, you heard it here first. Sorry about that. We went over the break, but we will be right back. It's time for news, traffic, and weather right here on the afternoon show.
Good afternoon, Summertime Shy. I'm Logan Page, and here's happening in your local and national news. Governor J.B. Pritzker says Illinois schools need more funding and points to improve graduation rates and test scores. Republican challenger Darren Bailey says more government and funding are not the answer, calling for greater local and parental control. More than 2/3 of Illinois school districts remain underfunded, with a $6.8 billion adequacy gap. In other news, Father Michael Flager has been reinstated to ministry at St. Sabina Church following an investigation into alleged sex abuse. WVON's intern, Caleb Patton, has more.
Earlier in July, Flager was removed from ministry and sent to live away from the parish after he was accused of sexual abuse more than 30 years ago. On Monday, the Archdiocese of Chicago sent a letter to St. Sabina saying that he's been cleared of the allegations by the review board. During an exclusive interview with WVON's Rufus Williams, Father Michael Flager spoke about having a target on his back and how the close companions around him got him through.
You know, a friend of mine who's deceased, Dan Berrigan, Father Dan Berrigan, said a statement a long time ago, which has lived with me forever. He said, if you're going to follow Jesus, you better look good on wood. And I've held that and realized that this is not it's if you're not willing to pay the price, Dr. King taught me, if you're not willing to pay the price, don't get in the fight.
Flager said the latest allegation was proof of him being targeted after being accused of sexual abuse in the past, which he was cleared of. He plans to host a conference for the public at 11 a.m. Wednesday, August 26th. Caleb Patton, Our News Now, 1690 WVON.
In other news, a new study delivers a sobering look at the risk pro football players take with their long-term health. The report published today in the British Medical Journal finds at least 25% of ex-NFL players who died between 2016 and 2021 had CTE. That number is believed to be on the low end, according to the study's lead author. CTE is a degenerative brain disease that linked to repeated head trauma and can only be diagnosed after death. And a new YouGov survey finds Democrats are nearly twice as likely as Republicans to say race relations have worsened since 2016. In July, 68% of Black Americans, 45% of Hispanic Americans, and 36% of white Americans said racism is a big problem. About half of Americans say increasing racial and ethnic diversity makes the U.S. a better place to live. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
In Chicago, there's always something going on, and its residents deserve answers, so we're bringing an important conversation directly to you. On Wednesday, August 26th, WVON joins NBC Chicago and Telemundo for an exclusive conversation with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, NBC Chicago political reporter Marianne Ahern, and yours truly, WVON's Matt McGill, will sit down with the mayor for a candid conversation about the issues shaping Chicago and the future of our city. Watch on Wednesday, August 26th at 4 p.m. on NBC Chicago, and you can listen right here on WVON and catch it on our digital streaming platform, Vaughn TV. It's me, Matt McGill, Marianne Ahern, and Mayor Brandon Johnson. We're WVON, where Chicago comes to talk.
There's a new sheriff in town, and this lawman is on your side. When you need legal help, you need somebody who knows how to fight for you. Estate planning, wills and trusts, bankruptcy, personal injury, and real estate. Put the lawman on your case. Attorney Ernesto Borges, Lawman Legal Group. Call 844-939-1800. That's 844-939-1800.
Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik. You've seen him on cable TV. Now hear his spirited conversation on the Talk of Chicago. The question at hand is raising voices of the Negro. That plain and simple. Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic 33 minutes. I-57 rides I-80, no delays, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford rides I-80 94, slow go due to road work, 46 minutes. Stevenson to Sample Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic 43 minutes. Eisenhower Wolf to Post Office, there is slow go due to earlier disabled vehicles, 35 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic 45 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, is brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVON is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. The historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. And you can catch the Cougars games airing on Vaughn TV. Today, it's mostly sunny, high of 80 and a low of 65. Tomorrow, night rain and thunder, high of 82 and a low of 66. In our city, it's currently 79 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, we're going to get in real quick, guys. You're listening to the afternoon show. Dr. LaDonna Ray, former state rep Ken Duncan.
What's up?
You know, yesterday we touched on just some updates, some emotional updates in Gary, Indiana. But as you know, the storms from August 11th affected Northwest Indiana. And right now we have our state, well, I should say Indiana State Representative Hatcher from the 3rd District. Because it's been 2 weeks and as of, I think it started with 3,319 customers were without power system-wide. All right. That was as of 11 a.m. today. So we're getting down from the 374,500 total outages that were recorded on August 11th. Welcome to the afternoon show, Representative Hatcher.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course.
Another state rep. All right. Hey, state representative.
How
Hatcher,
are you doing?
3rd District.
I wanted to get an opportunity to get an update just real quick because, over here in I hate to say over here, like we are not connected. We certainly are.
We are very much so.
Definitely.
We spoke about this yesterday. And after this storm has hit so hard in Northwest Indiana, particularly, we focused on Gary as part of our story. But meanwhile, your governor, Mike Braun, has ordered the state's utility consumer advocate to seek I believe it's called an IURC investigation into NIPSCO. Tell us about that.
Yeah, the IURC is the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission, and they basically regulate all the utilities in the state of Indiana, including NIPSCO. And I think what they're looking for is how did we get to this point? How do we get to a place where almost 400,000 customers were down? What was the ongoing maintenance of the utility poles and the areas around the utility poles? Mm-hmm. And what was, NIPSCO's response starting August 11th? How did they respond? How quickly did they respond? Who did they respond to first?
Mm-hmm.
And how
That
did
part.
they make a determination of where they were going first? So I think it's a lot of questions, and we're very happy that the governor has called for this investigation.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
in addition, Mayor Eddie Melton has reached out to even President Trump yesterday and told him that Gary needs help after the electricity returns because refrigerators are now empty
Yeah.
and they need the restoration of food.
And see, that's something we take for granted.
Yeah.
The declaration of FEMA of a disaster relief, and that has to come from the governor.
Mhm.
The mayor, the local jurisdiction as well, along with the governor. The local government has to make the case. But tell us, so I want to know what you found out and how they prioritize. And I'm gonna be honest.
I lost my connection.
You know where I am with this here. What was the priority, and how do they choose what population to serve first? And this is a Black-owned radio station, and we're unapologetic. So
Yes.
talk to us, Representative.
Be real.
Yes. Well, thank you. And thank you for giving me that flexibility here to do so. But I think no matter where we're talking about it, I think it's very easy to see, the numbers and how they came down. Now, please don't get me wrong. There were plenty of communities in Northwest Indiana that don't look like Gary that were also hard hit and had
Sure.
power out for a number of days. But it does feel like, and I think the community feels like, there was a slower response in Gary, and also that even with that slower response, there was a slower move to call in outside contractors in Gary. We had the first week, and just so the audience understands, even my house, I just came up Sunday. So I was 13 days without power at my house. My mom's house just came up yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
So she was almost 2 full weeks without power. So it was all over the city. I live in one area, she lives in another. So it wasn't like it was areas that were more remote or less remote than others that went up. But I have to say that the citizens of Gary absolutely feel like we were the last to really get tackled by NIPSCO and NIPSCO's contractors. So
What do you
it's
say?
really- it's
What do
very
you say?
concerning.
Do you say, you said they feel like it? What do you say? Do you feel like it also, or?
Yeah, I think what has happened, and what I looked at was the numbers, because the numbers tell the story. What I found was that even when other communities were down to 20% out or 10% out, we were still at 60% or 70% out.
Mm-hmm.
It just shows a much slower response to the city of Gary. We had many conversations with NIPSCO over the last two weeks. You mentioned Mayor Melton. He's been advocating, of course, for the people of Gary since this started. But we've had many conversations with them, and it all goes back to the trees. We have
Yeah.
Gary, and we do. But we also have something on our bill that we have to pay for every month, listed as vegetation management. We pay for that in Gary.
Yes.
We pay NIPSCO to do that for us. And so for them to cite trees, but have been charging us for this vegetation
And not doing
That
it.
part.
Yep.
is very frustrating.
Oh,
Yes.
frustrating. That is almost, I don't want to say it, but it could be a little bit fraudulent there. 2 weeks from now, after the storm is over, this story shouldn't disappear. Just like as it's ongoing, it shouldn't disappear. When the lights are back on, what are you prepared to pursue legislatively to Gary or Northwest Indiana so that they never experience a 2-week outage, not even a 1-week outage again?
That's right. That's right. Well, I think there's a few things that we have to talk about as we move out of the storm. Number one is something that you all just mentioned. We have people who have empty refrigerators, empty freezers right now. And so we need President Trump to sign that FEMA declaration for individuals. He signed it for communities, for cities, for states, government, but he's not signed it for individuals yet. So we really need to push that, because these people that have empty fridges, nowhere to go, maybe their house flooded, maybe a tree fell through their house.
Right.
They need that response right away. But secondly, legislatively, the whole Indiana Northwest, the Northwest Indiana delegation is meeting this weekend to talk about what we're going to bring to the State House during our legislative session. Our next session starts in January. We're preparing legislation that has to be submitted by November. And so we'll be talking about how we want to craft that. What do we want to do? How do we want it to look to make sure that, first of all, utilities don't charge us for things that they're obviously not doing, like vegetation management. We have something in Indiana called delivery fees, which means you're delivering the power to our house, and you need fees in order to ensure that those poles and light poles, those electric poles, are in good condition. They're obviously not. We don't want to pay for things that we're not getting. That's one big thing. Secondly, we want to make sure that as we get through this disaster, and NIPSCO has to spend money in order to put poles or to reconnect wires, that somehow that cost does not get passed on to the consumer.
That's right.
So those are our two big things that we really want to focus on going forward.
So here's, I think having that declaration that the governor pointed out that he's going to look for an investigation because you all have already been paying that. That's really just neglect. Here's what I would suggest. It's free game now, because I know some of you. I host some of your Indianapolis area representatives when they would come to the city, like Representative Sherry and her girl. But here's what I want you to do: just have a rebate or a reduction. What do they call that when you not a kickback, but since the customer's a credit, right?
Kind of credit.
Thank you. Well, since they paid for it already, and they paid to have those extra trucks and to maintain around the polling, around the grid, it's really inexcusable. Now, in our consideration, I'm playing angel's advocate here. This weather, this storm is unprecedented up this far north that we're not used to. However, they have to be accountable, and the way you deal with them, legislation is wonderful, but this is about a money thing. They need to do right and hit their insurance companies, the utilities, and reimburse that directly to the families. Not even in a credit, but give that to those families who have been a part of this disparate situation, and who knows where the prioritization was in terms of their coming back up.
I know we over the break, and I'm in so much trouble. But Susan has a question directly for you, Representative, and then we got to get out of here. Yeah.
Okay.
Susan, real quick, what's your question?
Yeah. Okay. Why didn't the governor call in the guard?
The national.
Did he call him in at all?
Yeah, the governor did call in the guard after the first week. As I said, that's when we really saw the response ramp up. And the governor did make that declaration of disaster and called in the National Guard. So that happened probably maybe Monday of the following week. The Guard has been in Northwest Indiana removing trees, getting trees out of the streets. It has been a very full of effort this second week that we definitely did not see the first week. And I think that was the problem. The initial response to the disaster was not swift enough. They didn't call in the contractors fast enough or assistance. ComEd has been in Northwest Indiana for the last week working and helping and assisting. So we just didn't get that until week 2.
Thank you so much, Representative Reagan Hatcher, for coming on, giving us an update. And please feel free to come back and give us another update, because there's going to be others. You have our line, all right? Because we broke the story the day after.
Let me tell you, for the record, say Rep Hatcher, me and my girl here, LaDonna, we got into it all. She broke the story for us for sure, and she's been in love with this. She's been passionate about putting this story on the map and keeping it relevant and giving voice to
wonderful. Thank you for that. We need that. We need to keep it at the forefront. Absolutely. Thank you.
And I think our governor, along with yours, I think it played a role with getting people ramped up, because
people involved.
We know this country,
because there was nothing.
will ignore your butt.
That's right. Absolutely.
That's right.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Representative.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Of course. All right. Guys, we got to go to break. We got to go more than a break for real. And we're going to come back with Mr. Fred Jordan, and then we'll wrap that conversation up. Pianki, we see you holding. We'll be right back.
More from LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
When it comes to celebrating our Chicagoland communities, Wintrust is here for it. We are proud to support small businesses in our own backyards, like Pies of London, authentic English savory meat pies made with the best ingredients, located at 1071 Rolling Road in Elk Grove Village. Pop-in Plates, kitchen rentals, catering, and classes at 64 Lester Road in Park Forest. And Fusion Beauty Academy, professional training for cosmetology and more, located at 18 Ohio Street in Joliet.
So last time we talked about you flossing more often. How's that going?
Haven't done it once, but I have been saving money on a regular basis.
What? Why?
Because BMO gives me a cash reward every month I save.
I was talking about flossing.
Flossing schmossing. A savings builder account rewards my good saving habits. What does flossing get me? Nothing.
Point taken, but you do get something for not flossing.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Cavities. Open, please.
BMO. Conditions apply. Visit BMO.com/save to learn more. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and I'm wishing you safe travels today. Here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. Stop and go traffic 35 minutes. I-57 Ryan to I-80. No delays 15 minutes. Bishop Ford Ryan to I-80 94. Bumper to bumper traffic due to road work 54 minutes. Stevenson to Southwood Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State 22-minute delay 40 minutes. Eisenhower Wolf to Post Office. Slow go 42 minutes due to an earlier disabled vehicle. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 19-minute delay, 43 minutes. In Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, is brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVO1 is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. The historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeaGeek Stadium in Bridgeview, and you can catch the Cougars game airing on Vaughn TV. Today, it's mostly cloudy. High of 80 and a low of 65. Tomorrow, nighttime rain and thunder, high of 82 and a low of 66. In our city, it's currently 79 degrees and partly cloudy. I'm Logan Page, and that's your traffic and weather update on WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago. 1690 WVON.
For you to bear things to go if you go anywhere.
And we're back. That's right. Back to Black Business Month, y'all. In August, tell you what, we are talking to the founder of Black Business Month. It was founded in 2004 by historian and publisher John Williams Templeton and engineering entrepreneur Frederick E. Jordan Sr., who we have on the line with us.
That is amazing. We have Fred Jordan.
I know. I'm so excited. And, you know, it's exciting to talk to the founders because you can find out what was on your mind. What were you thinking?
Yes.
You know, and you left off saying that the reason why this was created and your expectations, I should say. But, you know, at this point, 2004, what is that? 22 years later. Have we progressed since you've proclaimed or since you've started Black Business Month? Have we gotten any better or we still got a lot of work to do?
Well, there's no question that we have a lot of work to do. I mean, that's because we still, you know, every once in a while, like I was saying, that when we launched the Ebony 100 Black Businesses, now we don't know who is really doing what. And magazine said that we had Black companies doing 10 million, 50 million, maybe even 100 million a year. I don't know about the 100, but anyway, 50 million a year. So we were absolutely happy. And many of those companies came from Chicago. I believe Chicago had probably one of the highest rates, even above New York, of black businesses, being successful. But now we don't know. We don't have a leader. I mean, we don't have a Jesse Jackson or we don't have a leader of the black community. So we've been so dispersed, you might say. And then I was speaking in terms of Proposition 209 here that just totally wiped out affirmative
Yeah, I read that.
and we have to, and then of course, at one time, like I was saying, Dr. Arthur Fletcher, when he did the Philadelphia Plan and included African Americans or black people into that, it is now integrated with all ethnic groups.
Yes.
So as an example, here in California, we have fought to get back up. We have, with the California Department of Transportation, we have 24% going to minority business. Believe it or not, don't tell President Trump that.
Right?
We have 24% of construction. This is design, construction management, planning, or whatever, and construction contracts going to minority business. But only 1% is going to black business. For some reason, we have, they say that in high water, all ships
rise. Yeah.
But for African American businesses, we're still sitting on the bottom of the ocean. And so, and that has been one of my biggest protests, that we are somehow not being included in the economy, you might say. And even though we've climbed the ladder politically and entertainment, and the San Francisco 49ers, 70% of their players are black.
Yeah.
And
I was going to say, Mr. Fred Jordan, just in the minute that we have left, you helped create Black Business Month, of course. If we were having this conversation again 20 years from now, what would have changed for you to say, or what would have to change for you to say that Black Business Month accomplished what you intended it to accomplish? Real quick.
Well, I think first of all, we've come together, and last year we don't have the comps for this year, but last year we brought together 3,500 black businesses throughout the country. That's the highest number that we've ever had in the history of this country. 30 foreign countries, mostly from Africa and the Caribbean, joined us last year, and we broke all kinds of records. And so it's just the fact that we were able to come and to be organized and to say, this is what we have to do. And of course, this last one had to do with AI.
Yes.
And that message to say, if you don't get on that train of AI, you're going to be left behind.
Oh, yes.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Fred Jordan, the founder of Black Business Month. Thank you so much for coming on the afternoon
It has
show.
definitely been an honor.
Definitely. You come back and see us now. You hear?
Okay.
All right, Mr. Jordan. Guys, we are at the top of the hour, and we are going to go to news, traffic, and weather. Hit those phone lines, 773-591-1690. We're going to get to Bianchi when we get back. I see the comments in the chat, and we're going to have a little chat when we come back. All right?
Logan, give us some good news.
Thank you, Ken. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Gary Mayer joins WVON's Matt McGill. Chicago State brings Division I football to Chicago. Expert offers West Nile prevention tips, and Don Lemon case under grand jury review. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Here's BIN News Now. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is unveiling a $4 billion plan to rebuild a key stretch of the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway.
Every year we don't do something about the BQE. It costs the city $160 million. But all we have to show for it is this.
The project will use a temporary roadway during construction, allowing repairs to move forward while minimizing traffic disruptions and extending the life of the aging highway. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries and Trump advisor Jared Kushner are reportedly seeking common ground. According to reports, the two recently met in New York to discuss issues including housing, immigration, and the cost of living ahead of next year's midterm elections. And Target says it has pulled a Halloween costume from store shelves after complaints that it was offensive to Black people. The retailer says it is reviewing how the item was approved and what changes are needed to prevent similar issues in the future. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Back to Terry McCready.
The Supreme Court allowing some parts of President Trump's executive order targeting mail-in voting to move ahead. Back in March, Trump voicing concerns over issues like voter ID and proof of citizenship.
The cheating on mail-in voting is legendary. It's horrible what's going on.
Well, the order lifts the block from a lower court on many provisions, but the key provision, giving the Postal Service oversight of mail-in voting, remains on hold while a lower court battle plays out. The executive order directs agencies to compile a list of confirmed U.S. citizens eligible to vote in each state. The Postal Service would then oversee mail-in voting by establishing uniform standards for the ballots. 3 states are holding primary elections today. All eyes are on South Carolina. That's where President Trump-backed Republican Senator Darlene Graham is facing Congressman Ralph Norman in the state's Republican Senate primary runoff. Trump has spent plenty of political capital supporting Graham, including a rally for her in the Palmetto State last week. The special Senate primary came after Graham's brother, Senator Lindsey Graham, died suddenly. Meanwhile, there's also a House special election in Georgia and a Senate and governor runoff in Oklahoma. As of yesterday, over 8,000 customers were still awaiting power restoration, most in the predominantly Black Gary, Indiana. According to the Northern Indiana Public Service Company, Black Mayor Eddie Melton says he spoke with President Trump and told him that resources were needed and asked him to sign an executive order. Melton says the president promised to do all he could. The mayor took aim at Northern Indiana Public Service Company, or NIPSCO, for failing to completely restore electricity to his city, posting on Facebook that 12 days is too long for families to be without power. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is calling for an investigation. A group of bodega owners is suing New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's administration over Mamdani's plan to put government-owned grocery stores in place in all 5 boroughs. Mayor Mamdani's reaction.
I continue to be fully confident in both the legality and the importance of our initiative to deliver 5 city-run grocery stores, 1 in each borough.
The Multicultural Business Coalition filing lawsuits on behalf of a number of store owners. One lawsuit alleges Mamdani's plan to sell deep discounted food items would eliminate opportunity for minority businesses and small business at large. Another suit argues the city did not do a proper review. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen. So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. All you need is a job and a checking account. You can find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow at billshappen.com. Billshappen.com is the smart way to get a personal lender now. So if you need extra money for car repairs, medical bills, family emergencies, whatever you need cash for, go to billshappen.com and you can get the money you need as soon as the next day. up to $5,000. At BillsHappen.com, our process is safe, secure, and all online. No one to deal with in person. And Bills Happen does not charge you any fees to use our service. It's easy. When you need a lender, just remember, when bills happen, go to BillsHappen.com. BillsHappen.com for the cash you need now. BillsHappen.com.
Rent a boat, bring your own, or fish from shore. The Forest Preserves of Cook County has more than 40 fishing sites across Cook County. This message brought to you by the Forest Preserves of Cook County. Visit fpdcc.com to explore the Forest Preserves.
This report is brought to you by AutoZone. Get in the zone. It's time to say goodnight to that check engine light with the free AutoZone Fix Finder service. It'll help you troubleshoot the likely cause of your light for free, so you can drive with peace of mind. Restrictions apply. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, wishing you safe travels. Here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. Stop and go traffic. 40 minutes. I-57, Ryan-Tayeti, no delays. 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan-Tayeti, 94, stop and go traffic due to road work. 35 minutes. Stevenson to Sabo Lakeshore Drive. The Tri-State stop and go traffic, 45 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf to Post Office, stop and go traffic, 43 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic, 42 minutes. In Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook, smooth sailing, 15 minutes. Your weather for 2 days, Chicago, is brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVON is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. Their historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. And you can catch the Cougars games airing on Vaughn TV. Today, it's mostly sunny, high of 80 and a low of 65. Tomorrow, night rain and thunder, high of 82 and a low of 66. In our city, it's currently 81 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago WVON 1690 AM.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's LaDonna Ray and former state representative Ken Duncan on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
Okay. I hear you, Bruce. I mean, all right, guys, you're listening to the afternoon show.
What do Bruce Montgomery know about this song?
I know, right?
Don't be playing my music. What you know about that?
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, we were in your head. We were in your head. Guys, you're listening to the afternoon show with Dr. LaDonna Ray and former state rep Ken Duncan.
Right here.
Guys, if you want to hit those phone lines, you can hit 773-591-1690. And we got a couple of callers that's been waiting before we get to Mr. Bruce Montgomery. You know him, you love him. He's a friend of the show. And of course, he's got a lot to tell you when it comes to
Bruce got
Black
some science.
business and entrepreneurship. So before we go to him, we're going to get to Pianki real quick. Pianki, thank you so much for your patience. Welcome to the afternoon
Enlighten
show.
us, Pianki.
You know, there's so much that I hear that's not accurate, but that's okay because accuracy is always improved from hands-on experience and living experience.
Right.
But one thing that Mr. Jordan said, he made mention about affirmative action. Black kids do not need DEI or affirmative action. Affirmative action just invites you to the party. Educate your children. You don't need no DEI. If you don't like white supremacy, compete against it. Nigeria controls about 20% of the offshore oil well drilling in the world. Why? Because they put a lot of effort and education into it. And also to produce these business people, LaDonna, you have to expose your children from the earliest point in their life to the things that's going on around them. Ken, you know, if I was going into business today, rather than the erection of structural steel bridges in 20 and 30 and 40-story office buildings like I've done for a long time. I would be in outer space collecting space junk.
Yes, there's
and
a lot up there
mining
too.
and mining asteroids. I have a friend out of Granite City, black man. His business curtail of providing aerial refueling of jets traveling from the East Coast to the West Coast. How many black people do that?
Wow.
And another thing, real quick,
Mm-hmm.
your lack of electricity in Indiana is a small scale. To show you the importance of Trump's negotiation in trying to prevent Iran, a rogue nation, from detonating nuclear weapons is because of a physical fact called electromagnetic pulse. If you detonate one of those bombs, all electrical wires on your power transmissions would be burnt up. You would be out of electricity for longer than 2 weeks. We're talking about probably a year. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bianchi. Thank you.
Bianchi, first off, I think you are spot on with your point. I'm going to let us go back to Susan because Brother Bruce is on. But I'll God willing, I'll get back with you tomorrow, Brother Bianchi.
It's so hard to pick the battles. We have so many things.
He's right.
To fight for.
He's right. Here's what I would say about the DEI and the affirmative action component. White folk have had. Well, I just want to make sure he's listening. They've had more than DEI. They've had preferential treatment. They've had legacy. They've had senators, representatives. They've had green lighters and banks that gave them loans to fail. And again, most whites in America tend to fail up. And, whether they're superior or mediocre in their business acumen and their respective subject matter expert, they still get the benefit of the doubt. That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you. All right, let's go to Susan. Hey, Susan, you wanted to make a comment apart from the question that was asked?
Yeah, like 3. To address Bianchi's right. At the end of the day, it's like there are people in situations that don't have a DEI option, but their education has allowed them to be their own DEI.
Right.
And I think that's really what he's talking about.
Sure.
So don't focus on it. Don't necessarily overly focus on it because you could still do it independent of that. That's supposed to be a leg up, like he said. It let you into the party, but what you gonna do when you get there? Can you function?
And to that point, Susan, to that point, you don't have to go into government. You can go in the private sector. That can be your target audience.
I'm talking about the private sector. I'm
there
not
you
talking
go.
about government. Yeah, I wasn't talking about government at all. The reason I was calling earlier is I wanted to say I worked for ComEd for about 5.5 years. And what is customary whenever there is an outage is that it's a call out. It's a call out not only for the people that live here and work for them directly, meaning mandatory. You have to go. If you don't go, you're fired. You could be on vacation in Florida and you got to be there within X period of time to handle the call out. That's linemen and people in customer service. But what is also customary that happens all across the country is other utilities come in and help. They'll have New York come in and help. They'll have everybody from everywhere come in and help. So when ComEd tried to go to Indiana, NIPSCO turned them down. I saw 2 instances online of people talking about, yes, they turned them away. They turned them
Susan, are
away.
you sure about that?
We
That
don't
doesn't
need
make
help.
sense.
It doesn't make sense, but
push
it
you on
happens.
that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 2 weeks without 14 days without, and National Guard, that was entirely too long. A week?
Yes.
A week?
Yes.
Yes. That was some BS. I know there was no time. I at least got a chance to ask her the question, and now I know they actually finally, meanwhile, days later, got pulled in. But no, it is customary for other utilities to come in and help. You cannot do this by yourself. They are up on lines. A lot of times when I was in customer service, these guys are working in ice and snow. We were dealing with the ones in the winter, and people talking about, you don't want us to have service. Honey, we don't make money when you don't have service. So it doesn't benefit us. And our guys are up there on a 20-foot pole in ice and snow trying to get you service. So no, we're not playing games.
I got a question
You
for
know what
you.
I'm
I
saying?
got a question
It's
for you.
serious.
You said
Yeah.
you used to work for ComEd, or you do?
Did.
Okay. When the service is out, like for 2 weeks, and the bills come in, do they still have to pay for those and then ask for a credit, or is it automatic? How does that work?
they still, in my experience and from what I remember, because it's been a long time ago, at least 20 years, they're still going to have to pay for it unless they try to ask for, because a lot of times it's like, oh, well, ask ComEd so you can get some money for, the food that you lost. And I think for a period of time, and I believe before I even got there, that was something that they do. I don't think that they do that, but I would suggest that you talk to somebody from CUB.
Oh, yeah.
CUB would be able to say for sure definitively, because I agree with you, Ken. You were totally right about prorating those charges and giving them a direct credit. No, it should not go through NIPSO, and they can get some little bit of interest, that they put through, their investment accounts before they finally, meanderingly give them a check.
Okay. Susan, I gotta let you.
Exactly what would happen.
Thank you so much. Gotta let you go.
She's
all right,
on
guys.
point.
We are gonna introduce Bruce Montgomery when we come back from this break. Art Thomas and Stretch. We see you on the hold line, and we'll get right to you as
Not
soon
Stretch.
as Pash. I know I've never seen that name before. All right, we'll be right back.
More from LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's WVON, and the race for mayor of Chicago is on. That's why we're bringing you the important conversations. Hi, I'm Matt McGill, and on Wednesday, August 26th, WVON joins NBC Chicago and Telemundo for an exclusive conversation with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. NBC Chicago political reporter Marianne Ahern and me, your boy Matticus, will sit down with the mayor for a candid conversation about the issues shaping Chicago and the future of our city. Watch on Wednesday, August 26th at 4 p.m. on NBC5 Chicago, and listen and watch across the WVON and our digital streaming platform, Fon TV. It's Maddie, Marianne Ahern, and Mayor Brandon Johnson. Wow. We're WVON, where Chicago comes to talk.
From the South Side, a new force is rising. The Chicago State University Cougars, Chicago's only NCAA Division I football team, are ready to take the field and shock the world. WVON and Vaughn TV are proud to be the exclusive media home of the Cougars' historic inaugural season, bringing you every game live. Brick by brick, hit by hit, a new legacy will be built. Southside strong, Cougar Nation proud. Stay tuned for game announcements, exclusive interviews, and behind-the-scenes features, because this is more than a season. This is history in the making. The Chicago State Cougars are coming to WVON and Vaughn TV.
See website for details. Bills Happen is not a lender and does not make credit decisions. Hey, bills happen. So when you need extra cash fast, go to billshappen.com. Have you been turned down? Are your credit cards maxed out? Do you have bad credit? Go to billshappen.com. All you need is a job and a checking account. You can find a lender and get up to $5,000 cash as early as tomorrow at billshappen.com. Billshappen.com is the smart way to get a personal lender now. So if you need extra money for car repairs, medical bills, family emergencies, whatever you need cash for, go to billshappen.com and you can get the money you need as soon as the next day, up to $5,000. At billshappen.com, our process is safe, secure, and all online. No one to deal with in person. And Bills Happen does not charge you any fees to use our service. It's easy. When you need a lender, just remember, when bills happen, go to billshappen.com. Billshappen.com for the cash you need now. Billshappen.com.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by ComEd, powering lives. Here's a great savings idea. Did you know you've got the power to manage your energy? Yep, from usage alerts to energy saving programs, and more. ComEd has all kinds of ideas to help you gain control over your energy saving costs. Find out more at ComEd.com/energy savings.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
She's a bad jammer. Just as she can be. Her babies are perfect in every dimension. She's got a figure that's shown of great attention. She's poetry in motion, beautiful sight to see. I get so excited, you and her anatomy. She's
got all the curves a man likes. Hey, I love it. All right, guys.
I bet Bruce Montgomery remembers this song.
Yeah. Let's get back to business, y'all. Okay, listen. You're listening to the afternoon show. Okay, and we don't want to miss out on letting you know that Atiba Buchanan is still successfully getting well.
Good for him.
I think he's well already. I think he's taking a low-key vacation.
Tell him to take a vacation. He needs it.
He might be on a plane because, after doing dialysis for 17 years. No, I don't think so, because then you got to get cleared by your doctor.
Right.
But he's been on dialysis for 17 years and could never travel. Can you imagine that? Yeah, could never travel. So now that he has his new kidney, he can be at the airport and be everywhere. I wouldn't even be shocked if he was always remote.
I hope he has his papers together because ICE is waiting at the airports.
Because of his name.
Okay.
Atiba?
Atiba.
Atiba.
Where you from, my brother?
Come over here. Okay. Guys, keep commenting on Facebook Live. We have Bruce Montgomery. We're continuing our celebration of Black Business Month. But we're not just talking about supporting Black businesses. We're talking about making sure our businesses are built to earn that support. That's right. Keep that support and growth coming, if you will. And joining us in this conversation is Bruce Montgomery. Now I'm going to tell you why we wanted to start this conversation. It's all those things that kind of swirl around a Black business. Have you ever heard someone say, "I'll just get somebody white to do it"? It bothers me, right? Have you ever? Yeah. It doesn't bother you, or you've never heard that? Which one?
I may have heard it. I've heard a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, the problem is some businesses assume that because they look like you, that they have earned your business just because of that. But it is much further or much more than just supporting them as a free pass. It is, how do Black businesses up their game? Okay, think about that for a second. And Bruce, I'm asking you this as well. Because of this assumption that a Black business can serve you because they look like you, it's just not a great assumption, because at the end of the day, you still have to provide good service. But are we too quick to run and tell that? What happens when you hire somebody from our community to paint your house, so to speak, or remodel your kitchen, cater your event, or do your hair? That's a sidebar in itself. Build your website or provide some other service, and they don't show up on time. They don't call, they don't answer, they don't do the work that they were supposed to do in the time that you were expecting them to get it done. They may even overpromise, or worse, you've paid a substantial deposit and suddenly you're trying to figure out where everybody went. And then somebody says, "That's why I don't hire Black businesses." Welcome to the show, Bruce Montgomery. Welcome to the explosion.
The Chicago's Bruce Montgomery.
Well,
that's right.
Chicago is very fortunate that it has a very long legacy of excellence when it comes to Black-owned businesses and Black entrepreneurs. And today is no different. In fact, I would say that businesses today are doing something that we often didn't do. A lot of times people get into business, they say, "Well, I can cook, so I should be a caterer." Or I've got a truck, so I should be in construction. And there's no barriers to entry. But today, we find that people that are starting businesses today are bringing skills, they're bringing talent, and they can't get away from the issues like you're describing, because with all of the social media, with people, word of mouth, and everybody knowing what's going on, your reputation will beat you to the doorstep of anybody you think you want to do business with. And you can't afford to leave that doorstep and leave a job half done if you think you're going to go to somebody else and get away with it.
Yeah.
So I think people are preparing themselves better. They're learning what it takes to really be an entrepreneur. They're recognizing that it's no free lunch. This conversation you had earlier about DEI. DEI has never been a free lunch when it comes to people owning and operating businesses in our community. We've always had to be twice as good, compete twice as much, and offer tremendously outstanding service and support, because we did have people that would try to relegate us to second-class opportunities. So today, I think that anybody that stands up and says they want to be an entrepreneur in the state of Illinois and are willing to put up with all the taxes and burden and paperwork and everything that's required to do that, they deserve our respect. They deserve our support. And with August being Black Business Month, now's the time to lift up those that are doing it the right way for the right reasons and having the impact that our community so desperately needs.
You know, Jen, in the state of Illinois, we talk about the 188,000. That number is used so often, where we have 188,000 Black-owned businesses in the state of Illinois alone, and only 3% of them are actually employing employees. And brick and mortar also has its number being very low as well. Those solopreneurs are sometimes also working a job. So the problem is promising full-time business capacity in some cases when you're operating with a part-time business capacity. If you can only take care of 3 clients in a week, some people are so afraid of missing out on the money that they may take 8. And that's just an example. Or if the project takes 4 weeks, maybe someone will feel compelled to satisfy the client by saying it'll only take 2 weeks. Another example would be if someone is running late, there's nothing wrong with calling the person and letting them know that you are actually running behind instead of just showing up and hoping for the best. So here's the question. What does supporting Black business actually require from both sides, both the client or the customer and the business? Your thoughts?
Well, there's a difference between a business and a side hustle. There's a difference between actually trying to grow and scale and just hanging out a shingle and claiming that you provide a product or a service. Again, we've got too many examples of entrepreneurs. You know, I attended the homegoing celebration for Mr. Johnson, the founder of Johnson Products.
Oh, yes.
The Johnson Products Company, Afro Sheen, Ultra Sheen. I grew up in that neighborhood in the backyard of Chatham, where I watched Mr. Johnson build that business out of his basement, out of the backseat of his car.
Wow.
Going from beauty shop to beauty shop, selling his wares, and then go all the way to end up building a factory, building a plant. And you heard at his homegoing service, person after person talk about their experiences working at that company, how everybody was skilled, the chemists, the people in the marketing, the people that were on the lines of production, and how it was treated like a family. And the extra, he had a cafeteria that fed employees.
Yes.
So again, there's a difference between a side hustle, between an influencer and having some damn TikTok channel and calling yourself an entrepreneur, and somebody like a Mr. Johnson that built an actual business enterprise that provided a product globally to satisfy the needs of his community. So again, we throw everybody in the same ball, but they don't need to be in that ball. And we need to separate that. And Black people are sophisticated. We know the difference. We know who's really about it and who's faking and shaking. And so it's time for us to support those folks that are supporting us and that reinvesting. You know, when you talk about Uncle Remus.
Well, wait. This sounds like it's getting good, Bruce Montgomery. We're going to go to a quick break. And when we come back, you're going to come back with the chicken man. All right.
All right.
Guys.
The chicken woman.
The chicken woman. That's right.
Well,
he said uncle. Yeah.
I want to hear this.
A brother and a sister, I think, or something like that.
Siblings.
Yeah.
That's right. That's exactly right. Taking over from Pops.
All right. We'll be right back, guys.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here's happening in your local and national news. Gary, Indiana Mayor Eddie Melton joined WVON's Matt McGill to discuss the city's ongoing power outage, which has left thousands without electricity for nearly 2 weeks. He also addressed his most recent conversation with President Donald Trump, saying Trump's team followed up and is taking the situation very seriously.
Right now, we've been pressing the White House to approve the federal designation and release federal funding so it can help people get back to normal. The president was definitely understanding of the situation. He wanted to know more because this is not just a Gary tragedy, it's a Northwest Indiana tragedy. So many other folks are still without power in other pockets of the communities throughout the region, but also Central Indiana is dealing with flooding right now. So it's important that he understands the magnitude of it, not just being Gary, so that can ensure that those resources will flow so we can start seeing the boots on the ground in terms of dollars flowing.
Melton said he hopes the city will be reimbursed by the federal government for cleanup costs, noting that Gary had to handle the debris cleanup itself. About 2,400 homes still remain without power. In other news, Chicago State University is launching its first football team this fall at the NCAA Division I FCS level. The Cougars, coached by Robbie Jerome II, will be the only Division I football program in Chicago. The inaugural season begins August 29th against Roosevelt University. In other news, Purdue University's Catherine Hill urges people to remove standing water from their property to eliminate mosquito breeding sites. When outdoors, she recommends EPA-approved repellent and protective clothing. She also advises checking window screens for holes and washing rather than scratching any mosquito bites. And a federal judge is reviewing secret grand jury materials in the criminal case against journalist Don Lemon to determine whether the charges should be dismissed. The Justice Department was ordered to provide prosecutors instructions, witness testimony, and other materials. Lemon, who pleaded not guilty, says he was reporting on an anti-ICE protest rather than participating in it. The judge has not ruled on his request to dismiss the charges. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
When it comes to celebrating our Chicagoland communities, Wintrust is here for it. We're proud to support small businesses in our own backyards, like the UPS Store, your one-stop shop for personal and small business solutions at 460 West Irving Park Road, Suite C in Bensonville. Highland Vans, custom-built and designed vans at 872 Cambridge Drive in Elk Grove Village. Samco Restaurant Equipment, family-owned equipment and small wares, located at 2347 136th Street in Blue Island.
There's a new sheriff in town, and this lawman is on your side. When you need legal help, you need somebody who knows how to fight for you. Estate planning, wills and trusts, bankruptcy, personal injury, and real estate. Put the lawman on your case. Attorney Ernesto Borges, Lawman Legal Group. Call 844-939-1800. That's 844-939-1800.
On the job, every minute counts. That's why Lowe's now has ProBlock Quick Dry Primer, expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast and go on smooth for virtually flawless results that keep your job moving. It's available in oil and water-based, and getting it is easy. Order online by 2 p.m. and get free same-day delivery right to your job site. Lowe's, we help, you save. Orders placed after 2 p.m. will be delivered next day. Valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. More terms apply.
Protect your money and build your wealth. Sundays at 3 p.m., hosts and owners of Top and Top Insurance Agency, Clydell and Betty Top, teach you about protecting your assets, 401ks, annuities, life after retirement, the differences and benefits of life insurance, and they take questions. Their advice can enhance your financial future and your legacy. Call for a free WVON financial consultation, 773-881-8110. Tune in Sundays at 3 p.m. to protect your money and build your wealth. Powered by Top and Top Insurance Agency.
This report is brought to you by Aleve. At some point, body pain may creep in and become your reality that day. But Aleve is here to help you keep moving. One pill gives you up to 12 hours of body pain relief. So don't let pain hold you back. Try Aleve today. Use as directed.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good afternoon, Chicago. Wishing you safe travels. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. And Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic 36 minutes. I-57, Ryan's I-80, no delays, 15 minutes. Bishop Ford, Ryan's I-80, 94, stop and go traffic due to road work, 24 minutes. Stevenson to Sabo Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State Stop and Go traffic 49 minutes. Eisenhower Wolf to Post Office Stop and Go traffic 40 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare 23-minute delay 46 minutes. And Eden's Montrose Lake Duck smooth sailing 15 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago. It's brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVON is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. Their historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. And you can catch the Cougars games airing on Vaughn TV. Today, mostly sunny, high of 80 and a low of 65. Tomorrow, night rain and thunder, high of 82 and a low of 66. In our city, it's currently 81 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Big stuff. Welcome back. It's the afternoon show. That's right. Those of you that are on your way home, congratulations. You got off work early.
Somebody get off work early.
Done. Some people.
And this sounds appropriate for our guests too.
Yeah, it does. I like
Bruce,
that. I like that.
Bruce Montgomery is with us live on the live line. Bruce, what do we call you? Businessman extraordinaire, entrepreneur, Black intelligentsia. How would you like to be described?
I'm just trying to keep hope alive in Chicago. Again, recognizing that this is home of some of the greatest businesses, some of the greatest entrepreneurs,
Yes.
some of the greatest organizations to continue to thrive. And our communities are prosperous beyond how they may appear. You can't judge by appearances. Yes, some of our corridors and streets don't look like they should, but that's an opportunity. And I was driving through Bronzeville the other day, Ken, and just like you, I look around and I see people like Benita Harrison, this Sunshine Management, is building 3 fat buildings everywhere she could find some vacant property. We've got just some of the greatest developers that are doing wonderful things.
Yes.
DL3 Realty, this just opened up a high-rise building there in South Shore, the Exchange on East 79th Street.
Nice.
But yet we don't talk about it. You know, VON people call up. I'm so fortunate. In fact, I'm blessed because of the leadership of Melody Span Cooper and Pierre Cooper that allow me to come on WVON on the weekends and talk a little business on Saturday afternoons. It wouldn't be possible if it wasn't, that investment by WVON to keep the lights on, to keep the transmitters humming. This is one of the few platforms we have in a city that gives us short shrift. We don't get covered in Cranes. We don't get covered in the Tribune. We don't get time on 2, 5, 7, 9, and 11. But thank heavens that there's a WVON that gives us the platform to have the conversations about our own choice making and decision making. Prosperity is a choice.
Yes.
And it's made by each and every person every day. We've got more. Ken, when we think about what our parents were able to do with half of nothing, and they put food on the table every day, they got us to school every morning, they clothed us, they fed us, they got us in church every Sunday, and we look at the kind of money we have today, and we're talking about we can't make it?
Come on.
Are you kidding me? We've got resources like never before, but nobody tells you to run out to the suburbs and get a 6-figure car. What are you trying to prove to somebody? You don't have to prove nothing to nobody, and that's what we need to do. We need to change our individual attitudes and make first things first. Make our family first. Make owning something first. Before you lease something, before you rent something, buy something and own something and start building the kind of wealth that we're able to build and do the kinds of things that we're able to do when we make up our mind and do the right things at the right time for the right reasons.
I love that. I want to address
Bruce
a
Montgomery
comment.
dropping it. The mic.
I kind of don't want to address this comment. It says Black people in Chicago who claim to be business savvy are connected with multi-marketing pyramid schemes. I won't go on to say too much of that, but there was another comment that one kind of snuck in on me that said that even something about our businesses are all barber shops and chicken shops, something like that. So I just want to I just want to read this statistic.
Jim Reynolds at Loop Capital is not running a barber shop.
Right.
Tres Pugh with Sip and Savor is not running a barber shop. You know,
McKinley, Rogers. I mean,
we could go on and on,
yes.
but the point is we don't know ourselves. When we were younger, we go by our aunt's house, and sitting on a dining room table was a Jet magazine or Ebony magazine. And our little knucklehead self, we pick it up and we read it and we see what was going on. And we learned what we were doing.
Yes.
And we went and asked questions of our mother and grandmother. Who is this? Who is that? What are they doing? And we saw that some things were possible. Black Enterprise Magazine was my Bible when I was in college.
Yes.
I read Black Enterprise Magazine cover to cover, but we don't have that anymore. And what we have sometimes in the digital platform is a far cry from what it used to be when you could hold it in your hand. And so if we don't tell our story, nobody else will. We see they're trying to knock down our museums. They're trying to burn books and ban books. They don't want you to know the message for the Black man. They don't want you to know the truth of who you are and what you're about. And that's designed on purpose. So who has to embody that story? We have to embody that story. So we need to kick hustlers to the curb. We need to kick, like you say, that these schemes and connivers. Have they always been hustlers? Yeah, they've always been hustlers. But we know how to separate fact from fiction and get behind the people that are doing the right things the right ways and support them. Just like when Gypsy Travis found out that Black people couldn't get lending, he created a mortgage company so that the houses he wanted to build and sell, he could finance. Illinois Service Federal was designed on the south side of Chicago so that Black people could get fair practices in lending. And now we let somebody come along from wherever they came from, buy it, take it over, and send it in another direction. You know what we do? We make a right-hand turn and say, see ya, I got to find somebody else that's going to do the right thing, and we need to raise them up like the Southside Community Federal Credit Union that still is out there. Cliff Kelly helped get that going, and Greg Brown still has it going today. But we've got to tell these stories to let people know that real entrepreneurship, real leadership, just like with what I wouldn't be on this line today if I didn't get a phone call from Larry Ivory. Evidently, he said, you guys lost my number. So Larry,
no. Let me correct you, Mr. Bruce Montgomery. I called you 3 times. It went straight to voicemail. All 3 times.
I was doing my job.
But he got through.
For the state of Illinois.
I thought you blocked me.
Ended. I was in a commission meeting down in the state of Illinois. And so the meeting ended, and just as I walked out the door, his phone rang. So I couldn't take the call when I was on the stand.
Sure.
But look, Larry is bringing, what is this, the 27th year of the Black 21st year for the state of Illinois. And I'm so happy. You know, people had asked Larry a long time, why don't you move this up to Chicago? Well, guess what? He did.
Sure did.
So now we should turn out at Wind Creek and support what he's doing and what he's talking about. And people say, well, why are you going to support this brother? What is he doing? Who is he? It's not who he is. It's who you are. It's who I am. It's who we are collectively. This isn't Larry's party.
That's right.
This is our platform to tell our story and to find out who's real and who isn't, and then start buckling down and doing the kind of business between one another. If we would just do business with each other, we wouldn't have to, as Ken was saying, why are you so busy chasing government contracts? You need to be a private businessman doing private business the way you want to do it in private. You don't have to tell nobody nothing, you know, but we believe that the only line of sight of opportunity sometimes is in the public sphere, but really it is both public and private because, as Ken was trying to say earlier, all of these large corporations would not exist if it were not for government. Government contracts, government financing, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, all the rest of the industries. It's nothing. You see what the orange cracker has done. He's done nothing but figure out everybody that's wrote a check to support the ballroom has got a contract. Has got some business.
Well, I want to ask the question to the callers. If they get a chance to give us a call, 773-591-1690. When you choose a Black-owned business, what matters most in getting you to come back? The fact that it's Black-owned or the quality of the product or even the customer service, the price, or all of the above? Give us a call.
It's got to be all of the above. It's got to be all of the above. It's got to include ownership. It's got to be employment. And you made a good thing, LaDonna, which is so critical. We do have a lot of businesses that have no employees. They're just an LLC piece of paper doing the best that they can. And like you say, maybe working daytime job and doing the thing they do at night. But that still doesn't mean they don't count either. But they need to think about, what could I do with 1 or 2 employees? What could I do if I AI enabled my business and had 1 or 2 employees? Today, a 3-person company, a 5-person company can look like a 50-person company if they're using the right tools and technologies that undergird what they're doing. So small is not necessarily uncompetitive. Some of these businesses that are multi-million-dollar businesses, you would be shocked
how they
started. How few people are running these businesses and how they started.
Yes.
So then it's not where you start, it's where you end up. But you've got to make a concerted effort to really do business the right way and to be stacking assets. I tell a lot of my service businesses all the time.
Hold that thought. You cooking.
Yeah.
Woo, you've been cooking for real.
Man.
I'm saying, I hope people
With
are
hot
taking.
grease.
I know. I hope they are taking notes, guys. We're gonna go to traffic and weather. And when we come back, we're gonna grab this caller that's been patiently waiting right here, and we've got Bruce Montgomery, y'all, on the afternoon show. We'll be right back.
On business.
More from LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
It's Rufus Williams. The thrill of summer is finally here, which also means it'll be over before we know it. This fall, the Rufus Williams Travel Club is heading to Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Join me as we experience the beauty, the brilliance, and the culture of one of America's most captivating cities. We'll enjoy the charm of the Lowcountry, breathtaking scenery, incredible cuisine, and the rich African-American history of Charleston. There will also be a few special surprises designed just for our group. So whether you're traveling alone, with family, or with friends, you'll be welcomed into an unforgettable experience filled with great people and great memories. Space is limited, and the best rates are right now. Simply go to WVON.com, click on the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner, and reserve your space. Advantage International is the official travel partner of the Rufus Williams Travel Club. Charleston, South Carolina, October 8th through the 12th. Travel with people, travel with purpose, travel with us.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talk. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONwealthshow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
When you play the Illinois Lottery, you're generating funds that support education. No matter the prize, Illinois wins. Play all your favorite Illinois Lottery games today to help raise more for education. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 years or older to play. Game odds available at IllinoisLottery.com.
On the job, every minute counts. That's why Lowe's now has ProBlock Quick Dry Primer, expertly manufactured by Sherwin-Williams. Engineered for pros to dry fast and go on smooth for virtually flawless results that keep your job moving. It's available in oil and water-based, and getting it is easy. Order online by 2 p.m. and get free same-day delivery right to your job site. Lowe's, we help, you save. Orders placed after 2 p.m. will be delivered next day. Valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. More terms apply.
What's up? Play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
This report is brought to you by Allstate. Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th. Slow go, 35 minutes. I-57, Ryan Tie-80. 2-minute delay, 17 minutes. Bishop Ward, Ryan Tie-80, 94. Stop and go traffic due to roadwork, 24 minutes. Stevenson to Sample Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State. Stop and go traffic, 49 minutes. Eisenhower, Wolf's Post Office. Stop and go traffic, 40 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic 49 minutes. And Eden's, Manchos Lake Cook, 1-minute delay, 17 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, is brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVON is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. Their historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeaGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. And you can catch the Cougars games airing on Vaughn TV. Today, it's mostly sunny, high of 80 and a low of 65. Tomorrow, night rain and thunder, high of 82 and a low of 66. In our city, it's currently 81 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back. That wasn't too long, right? Guys, you're listening to the afternoon show. Make sure you share the show. If you're on Facebook Live, we see the comments. Boy, we got some trolls
Boy, do we
out
see,
there.
we
Right,
see
we got. Is it a troll or troller?
You
I said it
know,
right.
Combination thereof.
Yeah.
Well, you know, and they are responding to you, Brother Bruce,
They
in
are.
some way, shape, or form.
I want to go ahead and pick up Art real quick because Art's been holding for a long time. Art, you got a question from Mr. Bruce Montgomery?
So, well, I got a statement, but everything that he said, I signed 100% on. So there's nothing he has said that I disagree with. He's absolutely correct. What I would add to it is that technology, even though that the wicked use it for wicked ways, we're supposed to use it for righteous ways. So there's no reason that we should not be able to get our businesses out on technology and these platforms that we have. For example, LaDonna Ray, you are in the marketing business. So what is so difficult to get 10 business people like me who need marketing, and we pay you $100 a month collectively, where you making $1,000 a month, and you come up with a market scheme that market all 10 of us at the same time, and we duplicate that. And now, hey, you have a stream of income, and then we'll start to market our business to our own community. The problem is we have a lack of a community code of conduct and the family value system. That's why we jump in and out. And when you talk about reparation very quickly, when you or I do not support our own businesses, those men and women who are successful, there is a price for me and you or those who are successful. We have to pay to build our community. It is our time and our money. Our forefathers gave their life. We won't give our time and money and patience, because businesses, when we start, we don't get the influx of capital where we can have all these things that you say we need to be successful. We still got to reach in the pool to help Pookie, Ray, build them up. So we go through a plethora of full of things to build our business, and we try to reach back. And then when you reach back, we get criticized because Ray don't come on time, so it's still your fault. So then those who got the money complain because they don't want to put no skin in the game. The skin in the game for those black men and women who are successful financially, trying to get work and things done, you're going to have to give some of your time, money, and patience if you truly want to build your black community. Otherwise, stop talking about what you want the white man to do that don't care for you when you want to do it for your own people, because you don't have no patience, no time, because you think we're supposed to be ready to go, and we're not in that position always to be ready to go. Very few of us are ready to go when we get into business. It is a struggle to be self-employed and run your own business. I leave with that. Now, what now? Focus on rebuilding the black family, and may God continue.
Don't hang up.
Right.
Don't hang
So,
up,
yeah,
Art. Don't
I'd
hang
like to
up.
follow up
I
with
want to say something to Art. Art, when you called in yesterday, I wanted to apologize to you because I was on one. So I wanted to make sure that I was going to hold it to the end of the show because we ran out of time at the beginning of the show. But Art, I do want to apologize to you because yesterday I was in my feelings, and I know it's a new day, but I wanted to publicly apologize to you. So thank you, Art.
No problem. Apology accepted. And may God continue to bless us all, young lady.
All right, thank you.
Right,
now,
right
what were you
on.
gonna say?
Don't forget, we do not know. When you told us, some of us do not know what your doctorate degree is. They think it's academic, and it's very important to know exactly what it's about. May God bless.
All right,
Absolutely.
right on, Art.
No, I'm
Amen.
good, you know.
Amen.
Actually, he's
He's
absolutely right. And I will talk about that. My doctorate is in media leadership.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Wow.
I received it
Well,
2
you
months
at the
ago.
right place.
I thank you so much.
Wow.
And someone asked me, I don't know if they were trying to throw shade, but I was at an event, a get together, and they said, "How long did it take you to get it?" And I said, 33 years. The person
That's
that awarded it to me had been watching me for 33 years.
Wow.
Now, where did you go?
Wow.
Where did you get it? Remind me, because I'm
Oil
saying
and Authority Leadership Academy.
Oil and Authority.
Yes, absolutely.
Right on.
So I'm glad
Well,
he
that's
asked me that because
But he
yeah.
said something very heavy, LaDonna. He
Yeah.
said something very heavy, and I concur with him 100%. We've got to engage in cooperative economics.
Yes.
One of us might not be able to afford you, but 10 of us can. And we can't afford for you to go make Eli Lilly some more money, make Procter & Gamble some more money, make Coca-Cola. I'm going to tell you a story, and I'm going to tell you real quick. I met Michelle Obama when she was a lawyer at Sidley and Austin.
Right.
And she sat down and told me, she said, you know what? I am tired of making more money for these big corporations. They don't need me. They don't respect me. They don't appreciate me. I said, girl, you better be quiet and go on back to work and do what you're supposed to do. She said, no, I'm not. I'm going to do something different. And look at what she's done. And so she was, again, we've got people like you, LaDonna, and we need you to help us understand how to leverage this new media the way it needs to be. So we've got you. We've got Melody Span. We've got power unimaginable, but we've got to respect and appreciate it and act like when I'm talking to LaDonna, well, let me go downtown and ask the white folks what they think of what she said. I ain't got time for that. If you tell it and we know you to be true and we know you to be bringing your best and your brightest to us, then we've got to lift you up, bring you in and listen to you. When you tell us, hey, I'm going to show you how to really do marketing, then we need to be quiet, listen, and allow you to direct us in ways that will allow us to prosper as a community. And if more of us participated in cooperative economics, in shareholder and stakeholder engagement. And the real truth is when you win, I win.
That's right.
We win. And we need to be talking about
uplift each other.
Somebody having stake in the game.
Right.
And I'm so happy to see you win because I got some stock in what you're doing. I get a dividend check from what you're doing. That's the new paradigm. Let us be investors in each other and be real stakeholders and stockholders and have some equity. I did a paper at Northwestern about equity and Purpose said, well, that's not what we mean. I said, that's what I mean. I mean equity.
That's
I mean
right.
real stakeholder, stockholder ownership. And that's what I think the next barrier of success is for us is when we start busting through with shareholder equity in these successes so that we can be just excited about the next breakthrough because we've got a piece of the action through cooperative economics.
Love that part, Bruce. That's why you're Bruce Montgomery.
He's a mic drop for real.
And let me say this right here. I have benefited from your intellect, from your brain capital, brother Bruce Montgomery. And listen, I'm not saying this just because we're on the radio. You and I talk privately plenty of times.
That's right.
And you helped guide me large in part when I was a legislator. So still to this day. But off the air, I'm going to ask you some questions that can help me along this journey. So I know it's at the top of the hour.
Yeah.
You heard it from one of Chicago's iconic businessmen, Bruce Montgomery.
Yes, thank you
I'm happy
so
to be here.
much.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you.
Hey,
you so
you got to
much.
take me off block, man, so I can get through to you when I call you.
All right. Well, you tell the audience, hey, 3 to 4 on Saturday. I'm right here on WVON.
That's right.
Bruce
There it
on
is.
Business.
That's
every
right.
Saturday from 3 to 4. I love WVON.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Mr.
Brother
Bruce
Bruce.
All right, have a
Montgomery.
good evening.
You
All right.
do the same. All right, guys, we're at the top of the hour. Boy, that comes so fast, right?
The moving, good stuff moving.
Listen, this morning you guys heard Father Flager reinstated back into back into
How about
his priesthood. But watch this. We are going to be talking about this. Where does the credibility go? What happens to the credibility of both the accuser and maybe the accused? Okay. even when it's unfounded, we got to ask these questions. What are we doing? Brother Chris, we see you holding. Keep those calls coming in. 773-591-1690. We'll be right back.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Chicago to refinance debt to fill budget gap. Severe storms possible Wednesday. Secret Service aware of threat against Barron Trump. And PGA Tour partners with LeBron James. National news from the Black Information Network is up next on Chicago's only urban talk radio station, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago.
Here's BIN News Now. New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani is unveiling a $4 billion plan to rebuild a key stretch of the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway.
Every year we don't do something about the BQE. It costs the city $160 million. But all we have to show for it is this.
The project will use a temporary roadway during construction, allowing repairs to move forward while minimizing traffic disruptions and extending the life of the aging highway. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries and Trump advisor Jared Kushner are reportedly seeking common ground. According to reports, the two recently met in New York to discuss issues including housing, immigration, and the cost of living ahead of next year's midterm elections. And Target says it has pulled a Halloween costume from store shelves after complaints that it was offensive to Black people. The retailer says it is reviewing how the item was approved and what changes are needed to prevent similar issues in the future. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Back to Terry McCready.
The Supreme Court allowing some parts of President Trump's executive order targeting mail-in voting to move ahead. Back in March, Trump voicing concerns over issues like voter ID and proof of citizenship.
The cheating on mail-in voting is legendary. It's horrible what's going on.
Well, the order lifts the block from a lower court on many provisions, but the key provision, giving the Postal Service oversight of mail-in voting, remains on hold while a lower court battle plays out. The executive order directs agencies to compile a list of confirmed U.S. citizens eligible to vote in each state. The Postal Service would then oversee mail-in voting by establishing uniform standards for the ballots. 3 states are holding primary elections today. All eyes are on South Carolina. That's where President Trump-backed Republican Senator Darlene Graham is facing Congressman Ralph Norman in the state's Republican Senate primary runoff. Trump has spent plenty of political capital supporting Graham, including a rally for her in the Palmetto State last week. The special Senate primary came after Graham's brother, Senator Lindsey Graham, died suddenly. Meanwhile, there's also a House special election in Georgia and a Senate and governor runoff in Oklahoma. As of yesterday, over 8,000 customers were still awaiting power restoration, most in the predominantly Black Gary, Indiana. According to the Northern Indiana Public Service Company, Black Mayor Eddie Melton says he spoke with President Trump and told him that resources were needed and asked him to sign an executive order. Melton says the president promised to do all he could. The mayor took aim at Northern Indiana Public Service Company, or NIPSCO, for failing to completely restore electricity to his city, posting on Facebook that 12 days is too long for families to be without power. Indiana Governor Mike Braun is calling for an investigation. A group of bodega owners is suing New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani's administration over Mamdani's plan to put government-owned grocery stores in place in all 5 boroughs. Mayor Mamdani's reaction.
I continue to be fully confident in both the legality and the importance of our initiative to deliver 5 city-run grocery stores, 1 in each borough.
The Multicultural Business Coalition filing lawsuits on behalf of a number of store owners. One lawsuit alleges Mamdani's plan to sell deep discounted food items would eliminate opportunity for minority businesses and small business at large. Another suit argues the city did not do a proper review. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Every step you take could save a life. Join the Out of the Darkness Chicagoland Walk presented by Happiness Project on Saturday, October 3rd at Montrose Harbor. This isn't just a walk, it's a movement, a day to come together, to heal, to bring hope to those who need it most. Your presence matters. Your voice matters. Proceeds support the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, fueling critical programs that save lives. Take action today. Sign up now at chicagowalk.org. That's chicagowalk.org. Let's turn awareness into action. Together, we can bring suicide out of the darkness and into the light.
In Chicago, there's always something going on, and its residents deserve answers, so we're bringing an important conversation directly to you. On Wednesday, August 26th, WVON joins NBC Chicago and Telemundo for an exclusive conversation with Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson, NBC Chicago political reporter Marianne Ahern, and yours truly, WVON's Matt McGill, will sit down with the mayor for a candid conversation about the issues shaping Chicago and the future of our city. Watch on Wednesday, August 26th at 4 p.m. on NBC Chicago, and you can listen right here on WVON and catch it on our digital streaming platform, Vaughn TV. It's me, Matt McGill, Marianne Ahern, and Mayor Brandon Johnson. We're WVON, where Chicago comes to talk.
Attention everyone. Saturday, September 12th, join the 2026 Bridging the Gap Parade and Community Resource Fair. One legacy, many bridges. In honor of the late Bishop Dr. Claude Porter, the parade begins at 10 a.m. at 25th Avenue and Washington Boulevard in Bellwood, ending at Proviso East High School's football stadium. Starting at noon, enjoy a community tribute, 50-plus vendors and resources, a dental truck, food trucks, youth activities, a kids zone, youth village, and seniors lounge. Presented by Amazon with support from Associated Bank, United Healthcare, Sparrow Coffee, U.S. Bank, Central Credit Union, Proviso Community Bank, SEIU Local 1, Habilitative Systems Inc., NBC5 Chicago, Telemundo Chicago, Clear Channel Outdoor, Paramount Media Group, Power 92.3, Jam 98, The Chicago Crusader, and the Talk of Chicago 1690 WVON. Details at plccabtgp.org. Be part of the legacy.
It's Matt McGill.
The Navy is reportedly considering renaming an aircraft carrier that was designated to honor Dory Miller, the black sailor who became a hero during the Pearl Harbor attack, possibly naming it after Donald Trump. Can't get any worse than that, man, if you're Donald Trump. I mean, you really want to prove to people that you're a narcissist and that you hate black people? You get dragged on WVON.
Matt McGill, weekdays at noon on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Dell Technologies. Back to school starts now. Get long-lasting battery life on the Dell XPS laptop powered by Series 3 Intel Core, so you can work from anywhere. Now from $699 with exclusive student pricing from $599. Find PCs built for you at Dell.com/deals.
From the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's LaDonna Ray and former state representative Ken Duncan on Chicago's Essential Storyteller, 1690 WVON.
To put anything for your pride. Will all your pride.
I just like that part. Tell me something good. I tell you what, I wish I could tell you something good. We are going to talk about
like me. Yeah.
We're going to talk about a lot, but I tell you what, you're listening to the afternoon show. Ken Duncan, LaDonna Ray, sitting across from each other at this table at this very moment, having this conversation during the breaks. I came in a little flustered. I had my little box of chocolate, and you know where I got it from? I had a meeting today.
I know you got them chocolates from too. I can imagine.
Exactly. So I had a meeting this afternoon.
Chocolate sister eating chocolate.
Right. And I go there to have my meeting only to find the business owner flustered. And I'm like, what's wrong, Stephanie? And she says, LaDonna, we've been broken into yet again. We're talking about Stephanie Hart, owner of Brown Sugar Bakery.
Love her and love her establishment.
It just happened. I believe it's been 3 weeks ago. If that, what is that, July 31st, somewhere around there. Someone broke into, or a myriad of individuals broke into her establishment on 322 East 75th Street. And mind you, I grew up over there. And she's been there over 20 years.
Yes,
and now
we
this.
We know and love Stephanie Hart.
Absolutely. I mean, she's the first chocolatier in the entire country to be Black. She has a whole factory set up. She is doing it. She's a business.
I remember, she's what Bruce Montgomery was articulating.
Absolutely.
I remember when she was breaking into the cocoa business.
Yeah.
From cocoa from Africa. Cocoa's coming out of Ghana.
Yes.
Out of Cote d'Ivoire.
Mm-hmm.
She and I had that conversation.
So I believe I left my chocolates on the other side. Gotta go over there and get them. But here's the point that I'm making, because we just came out of the business conversation. Yes, we'll get into the accountability, or the credibility conversation. We're talking about supporting Black business and being in business, being a Black business owner. And then when you see situations like this, does it deter you? Does it discourage you? Or do you still want to fight the fight? What say you, Ken Duncan?
Well, it takes a lot to apply yourself in starting a business. And the reality is everyone's not cut to be in business for themselves. Because the reality is you either know how to bird dog and close deals on the front and back end, and you have strong administrative skills, reporting, follow up, accounting component. So it's more than a notion. And I'm speaking to myself as well.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have that support system, or a system that keeps you accountable. It is nothing easy to even start, let alone continue. And so I'm glad that Bruce Montgomery articulated some of these great Chicago companies in the city of Chicago and the state of Illinois. And that, of course, Dr. Larry Ivy speaks on as well. And so what I would say is that we start communicating with each other more often. We definitely have to do that. And quite frankly, this is what this new Trump administration has afforded or pushed us towards: Black self-reliance, Black engagement, Black strategy, Black
insurance,
all of this.
You gotta be ready.
Yes,
the cost of doing business.
Yeah, and it's shifting us in a different mindset into the private sector, and to be aggressive, but yet cohesive. We're talking more. Right.
So?
In comparison to a number of issues that are going on with us just chasing public dollars.
I love it. All right. Well, let me go ahead and grab this caller because he's been waiting for a while. Hey, brother Chris, you're live on WVON. 63 years. Well, you weren't on hold for 63 years, but thank you for joining us.
It seemed like it all my minutes for the month.
Well, thank you. We appreciate your patience.
I'm tripping. Shout out to the WVON.
What's up, brother Chris?
Mr. Duncan. So I'll say this, Bruce Montgomery, that was a beautiful segment, and I listen to him every week. I also listen to you, LaDonna, too, on Saturday. And again, just the changing of the mindset. We have to do a total reset on where we send our kids to school, who's teaching them, also where our dollar go. We love the Cadillacs. We love, all these car brands. We don't have one in America. We love all these different clothes makers, and they at this moment, the ones that are turning their back on us because the administration putting pressure on them. We should make a note, those who were with us and those who were not with us, but again, total reset, and we can't think Mr. Charlie's ice water is colder, and like I said, just certain things we need to do. And I'm glad the situation worked out for Father Pfleger. He's done a lot for the community. And, it's a tough situation because the archdiocese and the Catholic Church, their hands is not clean, because normally what they would do, they would send a bad priest from parish to parish, and hide his dirty deeds. And they give a lot of donations to the police. That's why the police don't really push up on the priests and like the archdiocese and the various, religions. So, That's just Brother Chris talking. But like I said, a total mindset. And I heard Brother Ken say that Mr. Trump has forced us to what do you call it? Get together.
Mm-hmm.
To collect,
But he's also-
in the words of the Willie Dynamite movie, we have to collectivize.
He's also helped the corporate prostitute Elon Musk reach trillionaire status, and then also the trillionaire status and then also we're paying taxes to help Israel when they voted against reparation. We're helping Argentina, and the United States also voted against reparation. And I got some good news too.
Real quick, tell us before we go to break.
I got into Harvard.
Oh, well, congratulations.
All right. Okay. Harvard what?
Aren't you going to ask me how I got in?
How'd you get in?
I walked in. Hey, y'all have a good
Okay.
I'm gone.
Brother,
Okay. Well,
listen to
congratulations
You
anyway.
listen to the wrong comedians, Brother Chris.
Well, no, maybe
I walked
he
in.
had trouble walking in before, and maybe they attacked him, thought he was an
yeah.
imposter or whoever. Maybe he got through security. I'm not sure.
I got some real comedy for you, Brother Chris. I'm gonna open up with something for you.
I tell you what, we're going to go to break. When we come back, you're going to hear a clip from this morning's interview or conversation with Father Flager. And we got some comments on that. So hit us up, 773-591-1690. Yeah, we switched it a little bit, guys, but our caller took us right into the conversation. We'll be right back.
More from LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Thank you. I am so grateful. Every now and then in this crazy world, truth outshouts the lies.
When it comes to celebrating our Chicagoland communities, Wintrust is here for it. We're proud to support small businesses in our own backyards, like All United Imports Incorporated, imported foods from Africa, Jamaica, and the Caribbean islands, located at 2525 South Blue Island Avenue in Chicago. Nancy's Home Care, support for seniors, individuals with disabilities, and those facing terminal illness at 10146 Southwestern Avenue in Chicago.
Have you checked out WVON's digital streaming network, Vaughn TV? It's everywhere on Roku, Apple TV Plus, Amazon Fire, on the WVON app, and at VON.TV. Vaughn TV, it's cultural content on purpose.
Ada S. McKinley has a fantastic early learning and childcare program for kids from birth to age 5. Give your child a strong start. Quality childcare at 13 locations. Free and affordable options. Full days that are convenient for parents. Home-based services for expectant moms and their kids. And they welcome children with disabilities. Limited space available. Enroll now. Call 773-780-0050 or visit adasmckinley.org.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have a health reminder from the CDC.
Pneumococcal vaccination is recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138. Visit Prevnar20.com or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
You never know who's going to stop by WVON.
Joining us on the live line, you know him from Comedy Central. You know him from Have I Got News for You on CNN. This is Roy Wood Jr.
Yo, what's going on? Here's a member of the First Family of Entertainment, the Wayans family, talking about Marlon Wayans. What's up, brother? Welcome back to WVON.
What's up, brother?
Apion Crockett, what's up, my brother?
With you, man. Thanks for having me.
We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
You've got mail.
Are you an insider?
Well, if you're part of the WVON family, you should be. Sign up for the WVON's weekly Insider e-newsletter and stay in the know on all things VON. It's news, it's entertainment, it's the 411 on all things Chicago. Become an insider. Sign up on the WVON app or at WVON.com. You're now connected.
Goodbye. Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON is more than a radio station. We're your connection to Black America. That means we're everywhere. On Facebook at WVON, on Instagram at WVON, and on the WVON app. WVON is everywhere.
This report is brought to you by the Blizzard Double Flip deal at Dairy Queen. The only thing better than grabbing a Blizzard treat on a warm sunny day will be snagging a second one for just 99 cents with the Blizzard Double Flip deal. It's buy one Blizzard treat, get another one for just 99 cents. Only when you order in the DQ app. DQ. Happy tastes good. For a limited time at participating U.S. locations.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good afternoon, Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic. 28 minutes. I-57 Ryan to I-80, no delays. 15 minutes. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th update. 33 minutes. Bishop Ward Ryan to I-80, 94, 9-minute delay. 22 minutes due to road work. Stevenson to Sabo Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic. 44 minutes. Eisenhower Wolfto Post Office, 25-minute delay. 40 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare, stop and go traffic. 47 minutes. At Eden's Manchester Lake, 2-minute delay, 19 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, is brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVON is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. Their historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. And you can catch the Cougars games airing on Vaughn TV. Today, it's mostly sunny, high of 80 and a low of 65. Tomorrow, nighttime rain and thunder, high of 82 and a low of 66. In our city, it's currently 81 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON, 1690 AM.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Thank you. I am so grateful. Every now and then in this crazy world, truth outshouts the lies, and truth still does win. But I just wanted to thank you. You've been there for me. You've always had my back. You've always believed in me and supported me. And I want to thank you and the VON family. And when you're going through, the fire in life, you really find out who's with you and who isn't. And it's always a good sifting time to really kind of recheck relationships in the world and where you're at. And you have just been there, and VON family has been so supportive. And like I said, all the haters have been out there, and I said, I don't care what you've got to say. It's the people at St. Sabina, it's God, and it's the people who've known me all these years. They know Mike Pfleger, and that's the people I got to trust.
Indeed, and amen to all of that. I do know, and we talk about it here, that it is a silence of friends that is most disappointing in the critical times. And I just want you to know that we would do anything other than be silent when we know what's going on with you. It's been hard, and nobody would have ever thought it would have taken this long for something that was so obviously wrong. And Father Pfleger, this is the fifth time. We unfortunately we have been through this before. Yeah.
Well, and that's important. I think my lawyer will be talking about this at our press conference we're going to do tomorrow morning at 11. But, people say, well, it's fifth time, and, where there's smoke, there's fire and all this. And what my lawyer said, and I've talked to a number of them, Ben Crump, folks, the attorneys all around the country who have been reaching out. They said, when people keep coming at you and for the same type of thing and over and over again, and it's proven that it's false and that it's a lie, he said that means you're a target. And it is not one bit surprising to me that this came out after I, been really going strong after Trump. The FBI called me up and want to bring me in to adjust the things I've been saying about Trump.
So what you have just heard was the Rufus Williams interview from early this morning, where Father Pfleger has been unfounded. The allegations have been unfounded.
Or the board, the Archdiocese board, reinstated him.
Yes, they reinstated him last night. And he came on to Rufus's show, and we touched on this yesterday from a perspective of, there's an accused and there's an accuser. So what does something like this do to the credibility of, let's say, both? If the accused are, quote unquote, unfounded, what happens to the accuser? And if the accused is founded, what happens to the accused? So my question is, what has this done for the person that accused Father Michael Pfleger? For the fifth time this has happened, as he stated just a while ago, Rufus mentioned, and this has been the fifth time. So what this keeps
fifth time of a separate,
yes,
accusation.
Yes, separate accusations. And with that being said, some people are targets for these types of things. And then my question is, the most recent victim waited 30 years. Okay.
Alleged victim.
Alleged victim. Thank you for correcting me, because I understand the importance of saying that. I don't think that the credibility works in either favor, no matter what the outcome is. Because now this right here, this sets you up for situations where you're thinking about something more broader than who the person really is, no matter which person it is, the accused or the accuser. So what do you say, Chicago? What do you say on the other side of this mic? When the allegation is unfounded, who loses credibility? We correctly tell victims to speak up. We correctly tell society to take allegations seriously. But what happens when an allegation is investigated and the accused is cleared? 773-591-1690. Let me go ahead and go to the phone lines. Mustafa, thank you so much for waiting. You're on WVON.
Hey, good afternoon to you and Ken.
Hey, what's up, brother Mustafa?
Hey, I wanted to speak on the sister that was burglarized, her business. I'm a former business owner in Chicago. I still own some real estate there and a home, commercial real estate and a home. And I've suffered a burglary, and what the perpetrators, the people who do these type of crimes don't realize is the damage it do that they don't see. They go into a business, they try to steal. I don't know, are they looking for money, property, equipment, but whatever it is, they don't see the long-term effect.
Mm-hmm. They don't care.
I know they don't care, but they have to care about community, because if the business leaves, then what? What now?
Oh, absolutely, Mustafa. You're on point on multiple levels. Looking at the Facebook Live, some of the comments, someone says that there, and I'm not validating this because I don't know, saying that there are a lot of Venezuelans around there. Who knows? That again, that's a statement on our Facebook Live. But what I have to believe is this here, to your point, Mustafa, because that's when you get robbed, be it your business, we're at the bottom of the hour already. When you get robbed, they take a bit of you with them, their dignity, what your sweat equity is in there. And let me tell you,
a bit of a gunshot.
So
you know what I used to do, man? I used to leave some beer and some wine in my garage. In the event I leave it open or somebody break in there, And sure enough, somebody went in my garage. Instead of taking the tools, they took the beer and wine. You know,
it was good too. Was it Modelo?
Yeah, what kind of beer and wine? Let's hold Mustafa on the other side, if you don't mind.
We're gonna go.
I want to hear what kind of beer and wine this was.
Oh my gosh, that's quite the deterrent.
It better not be what I think it is.
I'll
Mustafa.
change my mind too.
Hold on,
guys. We'll be right back.
Yeah, let's keep him.
Good afternoon, summertime Chicago. I'm Logan Page, and here it's happening in your local and national news. Mayor Brandon Johnson says Chicago will refinance part of its debt to help cover an $85.1 million budget gap. The refinancing is expected to generate $65 million to $71 million, with remaining funds coming from unspent federal COVID-19 relief money. Johnson says the move will help avoid layoffs and service cuts, but warned the city cannot continue relying on one-time fixes. In other news, the Chicago area faces a threat of severe storms Wednesday, with the south suburbs and northwest Indiana under a level 2 risk. There is a 2% tornado risk in the south suburbs and a 5% risk in northwest Indiana. Scattered storms are possible Wednesday afternoon with large hail and damaging winds. The main threats. In other news, the U.S. Secret Service says it is aware of an Iranian video appearing to threaten the life of Barron Trump, President Trump's youngest son. The video claims Barron's movements are being monitored and cites a $10 million bounty on his head. Iranian state media has previously threatened President Trump and his family, but this appears to be the first time Barron has been singled out. The Secret Service says it investigates anything that could be perceived as a threat against the first family. And the PGA Tour is partnering with the LeBron James Family Foundation to bring a golf event to Akron, Ohio next year. The tournament at Firestone Country Club will feature amateurs and pros from the PGA Tour's Pathway to Progression Pro Bound 5 program. Tour players will also mentor students from James' I Promise program. James recently taken up golf as a hobby and frequently posts videos of himself playing. I'm Logan Page, and that's what's happening in your news now on WVON 1690 AM.
When you play the Illinois Lottery, you're generating funds that support education. No matter the prize, Illinois wins. Play all your favorite Illinois Lottery games today to help raise more for education. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 years or older to play. Game odds available at IllinoisLottery.com.
Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik. You've seen him on cable TV. Now hear his spirited conversation on the Talk of Chicago. The question at hand is raising voices of the Negro. That plain and simple. Tune in every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for Speak On It with Dr. Kofi Malik on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
From the South Side, a new force is rising. The Chicago State University Cougars, Chicago's only NCAA Division I football team, are ready to take the field and shock the world. WVON and Vaughn TV are proud to be the exclusive media home of the Cougars' historic inaugural season, bringing you every game live, brick by brick, hit by hit. A new legacy will be built. Southside strong, Cougar Nation proud. Stay tuned for game announcements, exclusive interviews, and behind-the-scenes features, because this is more than a season. This is history in the making. The Chicago State Cougars are coming to WVON and Vaughn TV.
You never know who's going to stop by WVON.
And on the live line is Cardinal Blaze Joseph Supich. Thank you so much for joining the Cleopatra Show.
Well, thank you, Cleopatra. Thanks for having me.
Yusuf Jackson is officially serving as the CEO, and he is here to join the Cleopatra Show. How are you, Yusuf?
Good morning. I'm doing well. Thank you so much for having me.
And on the live line is the Mark Morial, President and CEO of the National Urban League, as promised. President Morial, how are you?
Thank you for having me, and great to be with you.
We are the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by ExpressPros.com. If you work in logistics, you know nothing moves without you. Companies need skilled people now, and Express Employment Professionals can help you find contract or full-time work that fits at no cost to you. Visit ExpressPros.com. Get support, get options, get to work.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Good afternoon, Chicago. Wishing you safe travels. I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan Ryan, downtown on 95th, stop and go traffic 34 minutes. I-57 Ryan to I-80, 1 minute delay, 16 minutes. Bishop Ford Ryan to I-80, 94, stop and go traffic due to road work, 21 minutes. Stevenson to Sample Lakeshore Drive to the Tri-State, stop and go traffic 44 minutes. Eisenhower Wolf to Post Office. Stop and go traffic 45 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare. Stop and go traffic 21-minute delay in Eden's, Montrose Lake Cook. 2-minute delay, 18 minutes. Your weather for today, Chicago, is brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVON is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. Their historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeatGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. And you can catch the Cougars games airing on Vaughn TV. Today is mostly sunny, high of 80 and a low of 65. Tomorrow, nighttime rain and thunder, high of 82 and a low of 66. In our city, it's currently 81 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago, WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I don't mean. I don't know those words. Dun, 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 dun. Paige Logan, can you dance off this? Let's see you. No, she look at you. Probably look at us as old people. Shout out to Nathan Page.
For yourself.
Yeah, right. Us, yeah. I know what hair color does. We're back. Myself, LaDonna Ray. We're here on the afternoon show, and we're talking about Mustafa. Let's get him back right on before we go into the Father Flagrant.
Let's go,
Brother Mustafa. This is a rare light moment with you. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we don't. But LaDonna asked me, I'm lying on her, about what kind of wine and beer did they take out of your garage?
Oh no, I was wondering myself. Was it Modelo?
Or was it some malt liquor? And was it some cheap wine?
I had some Cisco.
Oh my goodness!
In there.
And some what? St. Ives.
Man,
what the?
This was in the 90s, man. And somebody went in the garage, and sure enough, they grabbed that St. Ives and some Cisco. They even dropped some on the way out.
You are kidding me.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Was it cold or was it was it summertime, wintertime?
It was hot. It was summertime. You know what I'm saying? I had a couple cases in there.
That's nasty.
Just some knuckleheads want to come in there. Maybe they want to steal some tools, a bike, or whatever. But they always opt for the wine, for the beer.
It's like a trap. Thank you so much, Mustafa.
And that's the man. You get drunk off St. Ives alone.
I don't drink.
Cisco,
I don't drink that.
I'm trying to Mustafa, man. I thought you had a different brand of,
or at least in a cooler.
I'm surprised about. I'm talking about the Cisco. He must have been. And he said it wasn't the 90s. So
Listen,
we didn't make a lot of good choices in the 90s. So
I tell you what,
and I drank them both.
Cardinal Blaise Cupich reinstated Michael Pfleger to St. Sabina effective immediately after the Independent Review Board concluded that there was no reason to believe Father Pfleger is guilty of this allegation. The allegation involved alleged abuse of a minor more than 30 years ago. Pfleger denied it from the beginning, and that is according to the Chicago Sun-Times. So the question we're asking is, when the allegation is unfounded, who loses credibility? I mean, we correctly tell people to speak up. We tell people to always come forward. And even if it takes 30 years, which I question that. I question the 30-year wait. But that's just my opinion.
What's your mindset behind that 30-year question?
I was sexually molested when I was 8 years old by my uncle. And it took me 10 years to come forward. Now, I'm not saying I'm the measuring stick, but I do know what went through my mind.
I'm sorry to hear that, by the way.
I appreciate
Unfortunately, that's too damn often.
it is, right?
And I don't know what the hell a grown-ass man would have to be attracted to a baby or a kid, let alone a nephew or niece.
Right, nephew, niece, all of that.
Period.
He had too much beer. Okay,
my.
But just thinking about what went through my mind, every single, I guess you can say every year as another year passes, it's been a year. The only thing I was thinking about was getting as far away from it as possible. I didn't want to remember it, but the time came when I just couldn't hold on to it any longer. And that was because my mother asked me a very strong question. And it was because I was pregnant for the second time. Judge me if you will. I really can't do anything about that. It happened. But my mother said, why do you keep having all these babies? Because that would be my second one at 18.
Okay.
And I said, you know what? It's now or never. It wasn't to minimize my being in trouble or anything, but that had certainly been on my mind.
Sure.
And I told her about it. And I felt like a load was off of me. I can only imagine someone harboring that for 10, 20, 30 years. But at some point, I think we should come forward, or I hate being insensitive when I say this, or not. 30 years later, it's rough. It's rough for me to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not responsible for what happened to me, but I am responsible for getting help for what happened to me. And I shouldn't wait 30 years. I should already be on that path. But forgive me if I've offended anyone. Everyone's healing and impact is different. But I just want to be fair.
First off, thank you for sharing. And I think it says a lot about you to share that with a public listening audience.
Yeah, wow.
Quite frankly.
Now that I think about it, I wish I
No, because of your story, you're probably healing and enlightening someone else. Young men who were molested, who definitely don't dare articulate or state that they were molested by another man as a kid or a woman.
Yes, come forward.
Which is more than frequent, more frequent than we articulate or know or want to admit. And so shout out to you in every sense of the word. And I hope this is a part of your healing, your further healing, if you haven't healed already. Completely.
I don't want anyone else to hold on to it so long.
Right.
So this kind of reflects me. And that's why we're talking about it. Does this affect your credibility? Does this affect the credibility of the accused or the accuser, or both, or neither? However, let's go ahead and grab these phone calls. We've got Karen. What time is it? Okay. Karen, you're live. Thank you so much for waiting. You're live on WVON.
Well, what I'm loving about the time that we're in, and I give all shots out to Trump, what I'm loving about the time that we're in, that everything that was up under a rock is being uncovered.
Hold on, Karen. I want to interrupt. I say the same thing. And I tell Black people, I tell people in general, I love that part, that things are being exposed, things are being highlighted. They can say what the hell they want to say. That is something that we've never seen. Whether you love, like, or hate Trump, we've never seen this level of transparency, in your face, graft. This is where we are right today in America, because a lot of us were delusioned as it relates to what goes on in politics at the high level.
So you think that he came forward because Trump is in office?
No. I'm speaking of how Trump is. God, let Karen finish it.
Yeah,
there's a lot being revealed.
Let's let Karen finish.
Trump is being used. It's not about Republican or Democrat. For many of us to come forth. Because let's be real, for every valley, there's a mountain. For every storm, there's sunshine. If you think about everything in your life, something negative happens for something positive to manifest. I tell you what Trump is doing that I hear constantly, especially across this radio station and many others. The gatekeepers are unlocking the gates.
Yes.
The gatekeepers are unlocking the gates because the gatekeepers are realizing that, wow, we thought we were the only ones. Wow, we never realized we would need our people that we thought was uneducated, ignorant, low life. We need them too. We need them to understand business in order for us, our culture of people to have a business. This is the greatest time any of us will ever be looked at because we label people. We don't even realize how we label people. We label people. I thank Trump. Thank you, Trump. God, continue to use Trump. This is not about Democrat and Republican, because if each and every one of us will be real honest, we've done some underhanded, wicked ass stuff to get to where we at, especially when it comes to this molestation. I was molested at 6 years old. My brother called him. We told the police, and it was my babysitter's son. But there's a lot of women that molest. When I got a contract with the city with a bunch of girls, the girls was in the back doing some nasty stuff. I hollered at them. I said, hey, what you girls doing? They said, well, Miss Hicks, we don't know why you tripping. It's because of women like you that we like each other. Because so many girls in foster cares and DCFS have been molested by women. Women are the biggest perpetrators of molestation.
I'm hearing that more and more these days.
And they get away with it.
And they get away with it. And it's affecting them, because let's be real. There's having sex, there's making love, and there's F-U-C-K-I-N-G. Too many people have been F-U-C-K-I-N-G, and this is what we're witnessing today. We're not witnessing children being born from having sex or making love, and it plays a part, because when you F-U-C-K-I-N-G, that's what beasts do. And we've created a lot of beefs because some of this stuff we don't want to talk about, and we use titles. If we would just treat the bum in the street like the bum that we claim that got degrees and all that, we would be better. I want to ask everybody, how come everybody in the movie matters? The man laying in the alley, the woman crossing the street, the lady by the light pole. How come everybody in a man-made movie matters, but everybody in life don't? Have a great day.
I know that's right.
All right.
I'll tell
Thank
it.
you, Miss
Ooh-wee.
Karen. Let's take a break.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
I'm thirsty. Guys, don't forget the question is, when allegations are unfounded, who loses credibility? The accuser or the accused, both or neither? Get those phone lines ringing. 773-591-1690. Sale, we see you holding. James, thanks for calling. We'll be right back.
More from LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan coming up on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This August, renew your spirit only on Vaughn TV. Watch Behind Our Walls, a powerful documentary following incarcerated men pursuing a college education through the Calvin Prison Initiative. It's an inspiring story of determination, redemption, and the transformative power of second chances.
There's a lot of bad things that happen in prison. It's a dark place. You have all the time in the world. So you can either become a better human being or you become a worse human being. And the choice is yours.
Then spend time with Serenity, Strength, and Style with Sylvia Ewing and friends. Uplifting conversations about wellness, self-care, resilience, and living with intention. August on Vaughn TV offers stories that stay with you long after they're over. Watch on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at Vaughn.tv. Vaughn TV, for the culture, by the culture.
How many hours did you waste in traffic last year? Take control of your commute on Metra. Spend your time relaxing and let us handle the driving. Plus, our 95% on-time rate means we get you there fast. Metra, drive less, do more.
Chicago, you know the song, Say My Name, Survivor, Independent Women, Bills, Bills, Bills. But before the global stages, the awards, and millions of records being sold, there was a vision. And behind that vision was Matthew Knowles, the legendary manager who helped transform a group of young women from Houston into one of the most successful female groups of all time. Now, Matthew Knowles takes you inside the extraordinary journey, delivering a fusion of storytelling and classical music for a musical experience you don't want to miss. This classical funk performance is taking place Saturday, August 29th at the Congress Hotel. For Destiny's Child, iconic and reimagined, narrated by the visionary himself, Matthew Knowles, and backed by a live 5-piece string ensemble. Hear the unmistakable harmonies, empowering lyrics, and legendary hits in an entirely new way, while discovering the story behind the music. Upgrade to VIP premium seating and exclusive meet and greet with Matthew Knowles. VIP packages are limited. Say their name, hear their story, and enjoy the classical funk music experience narrated by Matthew Knowles.
It's Rufus Williams.
Chris, good morning. Welcome to VON.
Ain't no jive on the morning drive with Rufus Williams. Thank you, brother.
Weekdays at 7 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by ComEd, powering lives. Here's a great savings idea. Did you know you've got the power to manage your energy? Yep, from usage alerts to energy saving programs and more. ComEd has all kinds of ideas to help you gain control over your energy saving costs. Find out more at ComEd.com/energy savings.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Hey, Chicago. Hey, I'm Logan Page, and here is your traffic update. Dan and Ryan, downtown on 95th. Stop and go traffic 31 minutes. I-57 Ryan I-80 1 minute delay, 16 minutes. Bishop Ford Ryan I-80 94 stop and go traffic due to road work, 21 minutes. Stevenson due Sabo Lakeshore Drive to the Drive stop and go traffic 34 minutes. Eisenhower Wolf to Post Office stop and go traffic 47 minutes. Kennedy downtown to O'Hare stop and go traffic 40 minutes. And Eden's Monjose Cook 1 minute delay, 17 minutes. Your weather for 2-day Chicago is brought to you by the Chicago State University Cougars. WVON is the exclusive proud media partner of the Cougars' inaugural season. Their historic NCAA Division I football journey kicks off this Saturday at SeaGeek Stadium in Bridgeview. And you can catch the Cougars games airing on BAW TV. Today, it's mostly sunny, high of 80 and a low of 65. Tomorrow, night rain and thunder, high of 82 and a low of 66. In our city, it's currently 80 degrees and partly cloudy. That's your traffic and weather update now. I'm Logan Page on the Talk Chicago WVON 1690 AM.
Now back to LaDonna Ray and Ken Duncan on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Welcome back.
Jolene. Yeah. Guys, you're listening to the afternoon show. You know, when I heard the news, I tell you, we can't even go into it right now because we want to get to the callers. But
Yes.
but Dolly Parton's always been a part of my life.
You know what? What made Dolly Parton was my mother's favorite. I was telling Matt Ray here that was one of my mother's favorite, and we see you callers. We can get into you. Was one of my favorite singers, country singers.
Yeah.
You know, of course, with Willie Nelson, etc. But
When you thought of country singing, you thought of Dolly Parton.
But what was it that Black America just loved some Dolly Parton?
Yeah.
And I would love to have that question answered because we just loved her.
Well, let's grab the callers.
You think Mama D or Sal would know that?
We
don't love know. Dolly Parton.
We did leave off with what we were talking about as far as, you know, who loses credibility.
Father Flager.
And we can Sal, you're live on WV.
Yeah, go ahead. We back and forth with two subject matters and
Sal?
accusations, etc.
I'm waiting for Ken to finish.
I'm done, Sal.
Hey, Sal.
Okay.
At ease.
I think if somebody tells that type of a lie on somebody, well, I can't say that it was a lie. It was just, you know, the findings say that it wasn't true. But if in fact somebody has put that type of poison out there on someone, they should have their tongue cut out of their mouth. All right. But elephants must really fly.
Okay.
Based on the previous caller, that God has got Trump doing something here worthwhile. And I'm going to put another label on him. He's a sadistic jerk. Two announcements. I'm rallying the veterans through the Dora Miller American Legion Post of Chicago to join us Saturday, this coming Saturday, 1:30 at the Daily Center. We have got to say something about this idiot. Oh, there's another label. This sadistic idiot trying to take the name of Dora Miller off of an aircraft carrier.
What?
We will be... Yeah, Donald Trump.
See,
we will be...
I thought I heard something like
course.
that. Yeah. Just a waste of damn time.
Now I don't, you don't have the time for me to really give you just some real details about Dory Miller in terms of who he was.
Well,
but he was a bona fide.
Sel, I want to talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah, let's
actually,
get into that because
this is not long enough. We only have like 2 minutes left.
Okay,
but
right.
Sel, make sure you call tomorrow.
All right, one last announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Please, everybody, listen in to the Black Star Project Saturday. I'm going to be announcing a $500 eyesore contest, inviting people to send in a picture of their eyesore. But you'll also have to do a short narrative to point out what is the impact of that eyesore.
All right.
On their property values.
Good deal.
Crime.
Thank you, Sel. I love that. That's
tomorrow.
a good idea. I love that. All right, let's go to Mama D real quick. Mama D, 60 seconds or less. How are you, Mama D?
Y'all God bless him. I loved me some Dolly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, tell us about Dolly Parton.
Because she not only loved people, but she was real. And that song, Jolene, she put the emphasis on the woman. I know you're all of that, but don't take my man just because you can. Oh, that's deep.
I did not realize that was a translation.
I am somebody means no one should be above the law and no one should be beneath the law. And if you say somebody did something, you won't know whether it's true or not until there is an investigation. I think that's what's important, and that is what's different today. You just don't assume off the bat that somebody is lying. That's the way it's been for decades and generations. Now, at least, they give that person the benefit of the doubt if they accuse you of something. And I think that's a step forward.
Thank
what do
you.
you think?
Yeah, I like that. Thank you
Mama
so
G.
much. All right, let's go ahead and grab Angela. Angela, you are live on WVON.
Hi. I think a lot of times it looks worse on the women because the world is just so judgmental, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, I was molested by a friend's father when I was a teenager, and I didn't look at it as being molested because I felt like I enjoyed it, and I blamed myself for a whole lot of years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't tell anybody till I probably was in maybe, I was saying my late 20s, but when I actually told someone, I was in a safe space in the rooms of recovery, and I shared about it. And Ken talked about how I never heard so many men talk about how they were molested by women until I was in the rooms of recovery, and brothers were talking about how they mama's friends molest them and things like that.
Wow.
Through the grace of God, I was never molested by a family member or anything like that. So I'm just truly grateful. I'm glad Father Flagler was found innocent, and people forget about even all the way back to the 80s when he was getting the cocaine pipes out of the liquor stores and out of our community. So he's done just so much good things. Everybody forget about that and only want to focus on the negative. Thank you.
Oh, but Angela, just real quick, people really recall.
I know everything that he's done for the community,
phenomenal.
But somebody comes forward about something that's that's as serious as that. I mean, it has to be investigated. You can't overshadow that because of all the good that someone has done. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm glad he was found innocent because I'm sure it was painstaking. But what about the alleged victim? What does that leave them?
Yeah, who knows that question or the answer to that?
That's right.
But there are also people, when you're at a certain profile, you are targeted as well.
Look,
you are also in probably a vulnerable situation.
All right.
The day's over already?
It is. And I just want to say this real quick. Dolly Parton's song, I Will Always Love You, was a massive global hit in 1992, and Whitney Houston turned it into that massive global hit. Dolly Parton earned millions of dollars in royalties from the cover.
Yes.
But she used that money to buy a strip mall and office complex in a historically Black neighborhood in Nashville.
Is that something?
Yes.
Never too late.
She proudly
Never too
called
late.
the property the house that Whitney built.
See,
to invest directly in the community. I got goosebumps reading that.
Dolly Parton, you were such a phenomenal woman.
Yes.
My mother loved you. The Black community definitely loved you and adored you. And you, Luther Vandross, also, he did a lot of your cover pieces. You were a phenomenal woman. Rest in heaven. Dolly Parton, we love you.
Not just that.
Shalom, shalom, and Toda Rabah.
I will always love you.
Oh,
yes. All right. Former state rep Ken Duncan. Dr. LaDonna Ray is out, y'all. That's the end of Tuesday. We'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow, God willing. And thanks to Brother Matt Ray.
It's Matt Rash.
Matt
okay.
Rash. I thought it was Ray. And, of course, our very own
callers.
We love the callers.
Yes.
But there's nothing like Logan Page.
Yeah, Logan Page.
Giving us the news, the weather, the traffic. Charge to the heart, not to the head.
I love it.
You.
All right, guys. We're out of here.
Shalom.
Bye-bye for now.
Thank you again. I'm Logan Page, and here are your news headlines. Gary May